Hello, Charkie.
Hey, Cass.
Are you ready to become legendary tonight?
Uh, Something about that really threw me off. I was like, do I want to be legend and airy?
Well,
Like,
the
I think I
legend is
can commit to
implicit.
one or the other.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for legend rather than airy, personally. It's between the two.
I was working on my Will Smith references, and you threw in that airy, and I was just gone.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the playthrough of Legendary here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. This one's been a long time coming. This is a bad game. I don't know if you've heard or not. I don't know. Actually, you know what? That's a fair question. I think this is probably one that most people don't remember. It's one of those examples of an interesting premise that gets completely bungled in execution. Perhaps you've seen games like that before. This is the one where you open Pandora's box and New York City is engulfed in not only flames, but griffins and werewolves and all manner of mythological creature. And
The cast of Street Fighter and Tekken have to come together to fight to gain control of the box. Wait, different game.
Unfortunately, yeah, you're getting some wires crossed there. Crossing wires is something we'll be doing in this game very frequently, if you know, you know. The most minimal amount of background on this one. I didn't do an info sheet for this one, but I know at least a little bit of this game offhand. Spark Unlimited. Back in the day, there was this franchise called Medal of Honor that was kind of important. Before there was a Call of Duty, there was this Medal of Honor franchise that simulated war. And there were some developers in that game who decided to leave for greener pastures to establish their own studio. That studio was Spark Unlimited. And they would go on to create a Call of Duty Finest Hour, a couple other games of minimal note, before they began a streak that began with Legendary and ended with Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z. So you can tell the games between Legendary and then, all of them. Lost Planet 3, another one that they had hands in. So the back half of their catalog was a little spotty, to say the least. And then there's Gamecock Media Group, which is the brainchild, I believe largely of one Mike Wilson, who I believe is currently with Devolver, had come from id, briefly worked on Ion Storm, came up with an ad that invoked John Romero's name. I believe they called some people bitches. And that was Mike Wilson's brainchild. And then he went on to crash a few Ferraris and then write some really incendiary shit online about John Romero. And then he went on to do Devolver Digital, which basically absolved him of all sin. But Gamecock was
in between the two, he also was a co-founder of Gathering Developers.
I was going to say that. Gathering Developers was the predecessor to Gamecock, basically. And Gathering Developers was this project that was supposed to put... it's basically what Devolver went on to become. The idea of, bolstering and emboldening and empowering developers in the face of a studio system. They had a promised lot, which is basically their excuse to get drunk at E3 in the middle of a parking lot for anyone who wanted to show up. But Gamecock is perhaps most notorious, most known for promoting this game on the stage of the Game Awards. One of the first years of the Game Awards, when one Ken Levine was accepting a speech for greatest writer of all time, or Game of the Year, whatever the fuck it was for the original BioShock. Guys from Gamecock rushed the stage with full Gamecock attire, whatever that is, like chicken heads, basically.
Apes and rooster hats, according to this.
Yes, to promote this fucking game. And with promotion like that, with marketing like that, how can we possibly go wrong here? Really? Needless to say, Gamecock flamed out in pretty spectacular fashion shortly thereafter. Believe it or not, this game did not raise their profile or keep them in the industry for very long. It was kind of critically reviled on release, but mostly forgotten, until assholes like me come along to dredge it back up and then play it again for the main stage, to breathe some new life into it, let's say. Very generously, let's say. The point I'm trying to make here is that the moral of this story is that this is a game that had some amount of potential behind it, had some people who were genuinely talented, but something in the process just didn't come together here, and we're going to try to interrogate what that is by playing the game, by refreshing ourselves on it, because this is a game I've played before. several times in my life, and I've tried to look at it with different sets of eyes over time, and the conclusion I keep on coming to is that, man, this game stinks on ice. But now that we have the streaming thing, this seems like a pretty fair... this is going to be the most fair I can be to it. This is going to be showing it to the people out there and seeing if they all agree, if there's a consensus as to this particular game, my take on it. And I have you along as well to check me on this.
Of course. And I remember playing this game back when it came out. This was a game that went onto GameTap on release.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was a proud subscriber to GameTap. That service was great until it wasn't. But I really don't remember a thing about it, though.
That seems to be what most people's recollection of this game happens to be. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to get it to capture on OBS, which I successfully did earlier, but for some reason it is not capturing the splash screens or anything else playing here. It's capturing the audio. We may need to workshop this a little bit, make sure this actually comes through.
I actually installed this on Steam recently, too, because I was going to play through it just for fun. I was going to, you know what, I've been meaning to see this game, and I'm going to play it. And I ended up uninstalling it because I got gifted a copy of Helldivers 2.
Oh, that's the wrong... Oop. That was a screenshot of our... that was a glimpse into our Discord server.
Oh.
Not necessarily what I was looking to broadcast there. What if I just did a screen capture? Would that work for this? It could be a little risky, but it might be the only thing, the only recourse I have here. Woo!
Folks, if you want more than a sneak peek at the Discord, feel free to join the Discord server.
Yes, please. Wonderful game that's having such a easy time agreeing with my capturing it. Alright, let's try this. And once more. Alright, we're partially there. Ay, ay, ay. This is...
Oh, there's your Steam library. Okay.
Ah, what a piece of shit. There's some other fixes I had to do to get this game working. Believe it or not, this is not the pinnacle of modern operating system compatibility. This is... there's one bugbear in particular that we'll have to reckon with. Okay, how's that?
I saw you... let's see. I see the game. Sure.
I think audio's coming through. I think it's coming through as it should. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay.
We should probably watch the prologue slideshow first. This is where they give you the plot of the game. There are actual cutscenes in this game, so it's not all a low-budget affair. There's some bells, there's some whistles, there's some presentation to this, but they couldn't spring for the prologue.
I feel like you should maybe bury the fact that it's a slideshow at the start. Maybe just say prologue. Does this game have subtitles?
Yes. Oh, for God's sakes, it's so tiny, though.
Yeah.
The subtitles scale with the game. Okay. Uno momento. What if I did it full screen at this resolution? Will this completely just fuck my shit up? Take 2. Or 3 at this point. Who's counting?
What if they got smaller? That's better.
Was a gift from the gods. A wedding present from a devious use, delivered with the warning
Use.
it would never be opened. Of course, Pandora's curiosity proved too strong, and she peeked inside, instantly releasing all the misfortunes of mankind into the world.
Oh, shucks.
Unfortunately, was far worse. The real Pandora's box was a device of incredible power. Ancient empires waged countless wars.
Remember this from the history books?
Ultimately, a secret society called the Council of 98 hid the artifact.
Council of 1998. Only 90s kids will be part of this council.
Even to the succeeding generations of the council. In the early 21st century, treasure hunters recovered a strange...
I can tell the audio is coming in low on this, which I'm just loving everything about this game right now.
for study. Although hardly a front-page story, it caught the attention of my then-employer, LeFay. His obsession with ancient history, with the origins of Pandora's box in particular, led him to recognize the true nature of the artifact. LeFay initiated a plan for our organization, the Black Order, to recover Pandora's box before the Council could react.
What could possibly go wrong?
That wasn't under their surveillance.
This is a lot of plot to dump immediately.
A criminal who sold his expertise to the
Not in a bad way. It just seems like more than you'd normally get.
Unwitting pawn in LeFay's ultimate plan. A plan that did not become clear to me until I escorted Deckard to the museum holding Pandora's box, and he set in motion the events that would change the world forever.
Yep, that was certainly a cutscene. Now I need to increase the volume to make sure it's actually audible. Let's try this.
So if you just clicked a new game, would you have gotten none of that?
Not a word of it. Let's see what happens when we start a new game. And I'm going to play this on normal. Don't need to impress anyone. Okay, oh, there we go. I was going to read the tooltip out loud, but... So this is our protagonist character by the name of Deckard, thief extraordinaire, master of breaking and entering. See, he comes prepared. He already has the code to this keypad.
You know what vibes I get off this game immediately? Universal Dark Universe.
The subtle approach, the sneaking and entering approach. Yeah, no, I vaguely know what you mean based on the premise. Witness the beginning of a legendary universe. So how is he gonna smuggle that box out?
Yeah, it seems. I was about to say that seems a little big to just kind of carry out of there. Pop that into your suit pocket.
He looks so proud of himself in that pose. That's adorable. He puts his hands on his hips like, I'm the shit.
Oh yeah, it's probably full of candy. Don't open, you dipshit. Wonder what that means.
I mean, he does know it's Pandora's box, right?
Why would even if he didn't, the people who hired him did, why would they give him the key to Pandora's box? Instead of just get it.
Might be all part of their master plan. Okay, why would you do this? Why would you put your hand there? I mean, I could interrogate every stupid decision this guy makes, but... I mean, I guess the answer is because you need a video game to happen, right? Because you need a plot to happen.
Yeah. Oh god, my hand, it's full of gameplay mechanics.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa, what is happening?
There's something really cool going on with the mouse if I look in certain directions. I'll only try lowering my DPI. Oh, I see my mouse completely outside the screen. What a wonderfully functional product. Okay, what if I try going windowed mode, and then I scale the display capture? Oh boy, this is off to a rip-roarin' start. What if we crop the bottom however many pixels? 600? 700? Until I see a black line there. Alright. Thank you for bearing with us, folks. And just a reminder, fuck this game.
I saw you, like, on Discord, your status said you've been playing this game for, like, the entire day, and I figured either there were some major technical issues or it was really fun.
Yeah, you're right. I was having a blast. This game's actually not bad. Let's bring out the CNC graphics again. This has to be it. This has to be good enough, and I'll make sure you get an actual view of this. What else?
I can actually see the game on the stream.
Well, yeah, I'm
on
gonna
your
make
stream.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah, so
somehow
I'm still fine.
Playing it in a window fixed the mouse leaving the game window. When it was full screen, the mouse didn't want to stay in the window. Now that it's windowed, the mouse is staying put. Ain't technology grand? And hopefully, that should be the last of it. All right, press F to continue.
I've been waiting for like the the emergency switch of I install the game, we load in parsec, and I use my controller.
Hold Q to absorb the animus. Well, I always do what I'm told by tutorial prompts, so. So this is the mechanic of this game, is gathering energy, using it to heal myself, and do some attacks as well. So you'll see glowies all over the place.
That reminds me of another poorly received game that I played on GameTap back in the day that came from this exact same year, possibly? Infernal?
Oh, yes!
There was a huge earthquake centered on the museum. Now the whole building is on fire. You've got to get out of there. Find your way outside. I'm across the street.
Which, maybe we should look into that at some point. I don't know. It's been completely delisted everywhere, which means it is morally free.
I own that game. I have a license for that on Steam, I believe.
Cool.
RIP to that security guard, and I guess we set the whole museum on fire, and I can't help but feel at least partially responsible for this.
Listen, that was Cutscene You. Like, Cutscene You and Gameplay You are two distinctly different people. You can't bear responsibility for that.
There are some decent little like particle effects and lighting effects. Like I said, this game is not without its flourishes. Unfortunately, it's also one of these games that has you going back and forth between a PDA. So we'll be consulting this screen a fair bit. Find weapons and keep moving forward. Can do.
Bit off topic, but a question from the chat. I believe this is directed more at you, Cass. You like Lycan games. Curious if you ever played this one Firefighter-like arcade game?
I mean, there's a few of
Creating
those. There's definitely a couple of those. Johnny Baghead saying you could have lied and said this was Alone in the Dark 2008, and Elvis the Culture Advisor saying this is exactly the same game. Which, yeah, that's kind of why I was thinking about this game again recently, is that we did do our playthrough of Alone in the Dark 2008. Check it out on the YouTube channel, archived. Yeah, more than a few similarities, including this whole like PDA interface thing. Granted, it was a cell phone in that game, but you know, who's keeping track? Intercepted text message. So I'm about to leave the internet cafe, and a freaking eagle steals my car. I gotta hide. I think it's coming back for me. It has not been like 2 minutes since we opened Pandora's box, and we're led to believe that shit's already happening on the outside world.
Also, intercepted text message. So is your PDA set to just randomly get text messages from like anyone in the city?
I guess so. Just any excuse to have.
How many dick pics do you think you get, like, daily? Just random dicks.
Pretty much all of them. I think you collect all the dicks at a certain point.
Oh, that's the collectible in this game, then.
Which way do you want me to go? You're not being clear, sir. Can you... This way? Ow. Also, if we get further away, rather than LODs, they just lower the frame rate on their animations.
That's classic.
And back to normal. Alright, I'll go this way if you say so, sir.
Excuse me, folks. Gotta absorb some animus here. Oh, was that your animus? Sorry. Sucks for y'all. I'm built different. I just wouldn't get sucked into the vortex.
They all get sucked up into it. We're doing okay right now. Which way do they want me to go? I would love to, but... Oh, I think maybe around this? If only there was a security guard to usher me in the right direction here. They also really don't want me standing around here and observing the animations. That's why they're giving me damage over time, to be like, alright, hurry up, don't look at it too closely, don't think too much about what's happening here. We're gonna keep zapping you if you do. Unfortunately, they also gave us a mechanic that lets us heal ourselves, so I can stand around as much as I want. I can waste as much time as I like.
Well, as long as there's some anima for you to absorb.
I know this is a tough time, but does your ex-wife have any anima I can possibly absorb? Because the mechanic's going to be that I can absorb it from dead people, or dead creatures, so, no. Alright.
Wouldn't it... Okay. This is an idea, right? This is an idea I've had. Let's say that you get the ability to see the divine spark, right? You can see the soul. Like
Sure.
the ability
The
to
unlimited
see
spark,
and,
if you will.
Yeah. Like, you see the divine light that represents the true soul, and you can only see it. You look around, and you only see it, like, in dogs. Like, it turns out, no, dogs are God's chosen creature.
That
like,
would explain a lot.
We're not going anywhere. It's just the dogs.
Charkie, can you hit me with the "You okay, lady" from the soundboard?
Let me go ahead and find it.
You okay, lady?
Thank you. I wonder where she's going. You okay, sir? Oh, we can press space to jump. That's good. I can go check on him. No, just invisible wall right here. God forbid I get into that area. It's like they... By the way, we couldn't jump until they told us that we can press spacebar to jump. And they do it in the room where there is this literal, like, not even knee high. This comes a little bit below the knee. And we can't jump over this?
Oh, you can jump on it. No.
Jump over this, though. Just barely. Alright, you ready to see the hacking minigame in this game?
Go for it. It's a pipe dream.
It's cross the wires. Like I said before. Just hold down F.
Call it a mini game. But all you did was hold F, as far as I can tell.
Well, that was fast.
See, because I'm getting the feeling so far that none of the humans have dropped anima.
Yeah, maybe
So-
it is isolated to the creatures we'll be facing.
Again, which makes me think maybe humans are not as important
Important in
as
the
we think they
food
are.
chain, as we've
Yeah.
led ourselves to believe, as we like to convince ourselves. Like, obviously the reason why they do this minigame is just to hide stuff that they're loading and unloading. I mean, that's a
Again,
classic
call it a
trick.
mini game.
I mean, I'm being very generous to it, I guess, which it definitely hasn't earned. Spark Unlimited has not earned my respect in that way, so I don't know why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Something about trying to come across as impartial. But, you know, it's the old developer trick that you'll hear a million times over, that while you're doing that, they're loading the next area of the game, they're unloading stuff behind you. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do when you only have so much VRAM to work with or what have you.
Are we a silent protagonist?
Yes.
See, this already betrays my memory of the game, because I thought you were like military man in this one.
No,
you
but
let
we
us-
will be interacting with some of them. Well, that doesn't seem so bad. Whatever happened there, I mean, maybe broke a few windows, but...
No, this seems like it's going to be bad in a second. Alright, passed.
I know this is supposed to be, like, terrifying or intense, but this looks so goofy watching those rag dolls launch into the air. Ow!
It was like doing the wave at a stadium.
So this sure is loud.
Yeah, that sound is super blown out.
This is why I was lowering the volume before. Well,
Now, I wouldn't call that an eagle.
no, I certainly wouldn't. I also can't say they're doing anything bad there. I mean, it's just cops, so...
And he moved it out of your way. He was helping you.
Yeah, no, he's helping us traverse. He's helping us get from point A to point B.
Hey, I got you, Deckard. Let me get this out of your way.
Deckard, I'm cut off from the museum. I'm taking the car to the next block. Meet me there.
So again, this is supposed to be something like a physics showcase. The problem is, so many of the physics in this game are what I would call springy.
I think you mean good.
Think this dude's gonna be alright? He's very shiny. That's some very bright blood on him.
You okay, lady?
Hey, got him out of your way. I figured he was annoying you, right?
Hey, Polly, want a cracker? Ow.
Give me kisses. Are you my sweet baby? Been watching too much of that parrot channel. Which one? Good question.
You'll never know. Whoa. See, the problem with this is that it's just too fun to watch stuff in the environment. Way more fun than playing the actual game, you know? Alright, so our first weapon. Fire axe. And boy howdy! Decker's got quite the arm on him.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh! Might behoove me to get out of here, actually.
It seems like your fire axe was causing fire. Maybe not the intended purpose.
Hey, it's in the name, right? Well, you know, this town's for the birds. I've always said it. Maybe don't run towards the bird. I don't know, that'd be my advice to you, dude. I would hightail in the other direction. You can probably climb that wall. You can probably go down that alley and ride this out. Oh! Alright, credits to whoever is doing the, you know, the decals in the environment here.
Yeah.
Alright, we should probably pick up the pace at least a little bit.
Unreal Engine 3, right?
Yeah. They really go out of the way to show us the cops in particular getting killed, so...
Good.
Thank you.
Very Griffin-centric game thus far. Although now we've got a car golem.
Finally, the city's recycling project like comes through with something.
You know what? I'll give the game this. This is a spectacle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The problem is there any actual substance to back up the spectacle?
Well, we're only in the first couple minutes of the game, right? This
Yeah.
is just your opening.
I do want to check something, though.
See if you got any more text messages.
Well, we do have some profiles on the creatures we've encountered. Body of a lion, head and wings of an eagle. The real-world griffin is more powerful and destructive than majestic. That's subjective.
Just so you know, it's more destructive and majestic than it is in this game.
In Jewish folklore, a golem is a being formed from inanimate matter, like clay. The one I just saw formed from the rubble. I don't know why I read that. I wanted to read that as bubble. From the rubble of destroyed buildings and wrecked cars. Then it tore into the remaining structures, destroying everything in its path. And what else do we have? Fire Drake? I don't think we've actually seen these yet, so it's spoilers.
I think we saw one very briefly. Like, it kind of came and went.
So, you know, this lore is interesting. It's clear that there were people on the team who had a genuine love or interest in mythology and wanted to bring as many of those creatures as they could into a contemporary setting. So, like, the high-level premise, completely functional. I think this is a concept that could be done well. We'll get into the reasons why it's not done particularly well here, once we get into actual combat. Finally sprint, by the way.
Oh, Oh, I just remembered how to make my legs go faster.
Alright, typical first-person shooter. The multiplayer was a big component of this game. That's obviously long since dead. GameSpy, RIP. But I believe it was a sort of asymmetrical multiplayer mode where there's the team that is, let's say, trying to use the creatures as a sort of, like, you know, power unto themselves that are trying to, like, exploit them, and the team that is staunchly against them. I think there may have even been, like, transformations. I never got a chance to play the multiplayer. I mean, I guess that's the answer, or I guess that's the rub there, is I never had a chance to experience it, and I don't think anyone bothered to necessarily resurrect that. And I think it was also pretty much dead on arrival, so the amount of people who ever got to experience it, probably pretty low, all things. So, like, yeah, in the chat, Johnny Baggett saying, this game had multiplayer? Yeah! Who'd have thunk, right?
Oh yeah, y'all couldn't see it, but the intro of this game, like, proudly said GameSpy. Which, like, honestly, like, booting up a game these days, like an older game, and seeing GameSpy on there is like seeing the base of the statue from Ozymandias.
We might have to get into an actual fight sometime soon.
God forbid.
Gotta suck up as much of this as possible. Rude.
Even ruder, closing the door on it.
Yeah, I'm sure that will absolutely work. I'm sure there won't be. No way a creature of that size, of that tonnage, can break through this wall, boy howdy. Alright. Ability number 2, we can do that. Can knock around some physics objects, potentially push enemies off of us.
It was 2000 and something, you can physics objects.
2008.
2008.
You know, I again, credit where credit's due. They're making sure to show the human toll on this. Something like, let's say, Alone in the Dark 2008, wouldn't have bothered with something like this. That game was pretty devoid of humanity past the first act, right? So this is a New York City under siege where we're seeing the ramifications of what we've done. And, you know,
past the first act, everyone was dead. And you were also in Central Park.
Fair points.
There's our fire drakes.
Can you do me a favor, look up the composer for this game, the people who did the soundtrack? I believe it was a duo. Sure. I again, you know, on positive notes, I will say they earned their paycheck on this one. They made an appropriately epic soundtrack, and I use that in, like, you know, the purely technical term, which is to say, you know, it's like movie score. It swells. It plays well with the action. It sort of inflates the sense of scale here, which is what you want. I mean, this may look devastating, but this is just what the trains look like in New York City. It's just the state of them. Like, sure, it's off the rails, but I mean, that just happens in the course of a standard operating, like, standard business day.
All right, here it is. Music by Rick Hernandez.
Is that right?
Yes. Current senior sound designer on Apex Legends.
Well, good for them. That's work. Probably more consistent than tying yourself to, huh? Not entirely sure what killed me there. If I'm being truthful, if I'm being honest with y'all. Not entirely sure how that happened. 1 second I had health, the next I didn't. But I mean, that could be because I was just dilly-dallying around so much. Granite Tag saying if it's only 6 derailments, it's a model day for the MTA. All right, let's try the pistol
back
instead.
here, huh?
Let's keep our distance.
I was looking at IMDb. We're using the axe on the thing that's covered in fire.
Well, yeah, it's a fire axe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It made sense, and it did hit them, kill them in one hit. Compared to, let's count the bullets. We have 15 in a magazine. I'd say that was about like 8 or 9.
Yeah, you definitely were dumping after it was dead.
No, it's a whole mag.
Oh, okay. Oh, we don't know what the ammo economy of this game is like yet.
Pretty generous, let's say.
30 rounds, okay. Well...
Oh, you know what? That thing was in the middle of an animation. Nothing I did hurt it while it was in the middle of said animation. It's one of those games where animations take priority over actually being able to damage stuff.
Magic Meows asks, does that pistol fire as fast as you can click?
It certainly does. And I can click pretty darn fast, if I do say so myself.
Problem solved. All right, everybody, go home.
Nothing to see here. I think there's something happening over there we may have missed.
Oh, you know, have you tried calling the police on this?
You know, I didn't even think. It didn't even stop to consider it. Heal up. Oh, I think we need to be up there. Which means we need to go all the way around again. Ay, ay, ay. Magic Meow saying, Casters reminds me of another game you should stream sometime, Darkest of Days. Now that game is a banger. Yeah, it's funny, it's interesting. There's also an entire level that takes place in a concentration camp and is not handled particularly tastefully. So, I mean, I guess that...
remember that one.
Which I guess is in some capacity worth showing off to be like, hey, look at this fucking shit. Ain't this, like, tacky as hell? Because the rest of the game is very interesting. I like that game still. That game is not terribly bad.
All I remembered were, like, the, what was it? The Civil War in, like, the Rome bits. I didn't remember that bit.
That's the game, for people who aren't aware, that's the game where you take back modern-day weapons, or future weapons, to historic conflicts and sort of tip the scales in your attempts to correct history that is being manipulated and fucked with.
Have you seen that game, Kingmaker, I think it's called? Trailers for that thing?
Kingmaker? I think I might have.
It's this game where, like, you take modern stuff back in time to medieval times and fight against, like... So you're fighting against massive, like, armies of knights and stuff, but you have a pickup truck and a Gatling gun, and you can call in a helicopter.
That's a fun concept. I mean, it's definitely, like this concept, there are ways to explore these concepts. Just because one game didn't struck out doesn't mean that the industry should be like, well, that was a failed idea. Yeah. Which is, I think,
people are excited about this new one.
I would hope so. I hope that game turns out well. I hope that all games turn out well, you know?
Yeah. But on the other hand, we hope games turn out bad so we can cover them on the show.
Yeah, so we have an endless well of content. Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of job, consider subscribing, consider joining the Patreon, boosting us on Discord, all that stuff. What would a first-person shooter be without vents?
Well, just while we're on the subject of Darkest of Days, was it like something about that game tied to something awful? Something awful forms in some way? Like one of the devs was on there or something?
I mean, there are goons all over the games industry.
Yeah. But I just remember that having like a big forum presence back in the day, I think. Because of that.
I don't remember that specifically, but I wouldn't doubt you. I wouldn't question that if you were asserting that.
There was always, like, back then, there was always this novelty of, like, oh, Goon is working on a big game. Hell yeah, let's support it.
We put Johnny 5 Aces in Fallout New Vegas. This is the greatest thing to ever happen. This is the funniest shit. And now, like, Every game just has memes in it. Every game is just referential of the internet. You know? It's unavoidable at this point. It's more novel to not have a bunch of fucking shoehorned in references to, like, memes that are already, like, outdated, like, a year before the game comes out because of how long it takes to make a game these days.
Live service meme support just to keep everything up to date.
Oh god, how dark would the industry be if there was a department, if there was like a new role in this new era of the industry that just exists to keep the game contemporary with modern memes?
That's called a social media manager.
I guess so.
No shade to social media managers out there. You're I know that's a tough job in reality.
I hesitate to say that anything marketing is hard. Like, I am of the belief that much of it is just like snake oil and bullshit and people propping themselves up and pretending they're more important than they actually are. But also, I've spoken to marketers, so I am biased against them. Well, believe it or not, the elevator actually stayed intact. I was expecting it to collapse. I was expecting it to come, like, careening down and have to, like, escape from the basement of this place, but...
There's still time. It's a very slow elevator.
Like I said, they have assets to load and unload.
Oh, you haven't tried to squeeze your way through a very tight corridor yet, so... Shimmy up through it with your hands against the wall.
You know what? Can I go back down? I'll take my chances with the werewolf down there at this point. Alright.
I feel like with the amount of fantasy creatures here, you have an opportunity to be bitten by everything and turn into something really cool.
Oh yeah, this mix and match. It went great in that episode of Batman Beyond where the dude injected himself with all those like transforming liquids and became like 20 different animals at once. And it just turned him into like a flesh homunculus. That's a reference from my Batman heads out there.
I remember that. The Chimeras, I think, was like what they were called.
What am I doing shooting him? I know I can't hurt him. He's animated. He's scripted. He has plot armor. He has cutscene armor.
I was wondering, yeah. Do you think, behaviorally, griffins would be more cat or more bird?
I think they'd be more bird. I think the beak, I think the head sort of dictates the temperament when it comes to creatures like that. Like a mermaid, as long as they're top half human, they're gonna behave mostly human, I would think. You know, that's my assumption based on the documentary, The Little Mermaid, that I watched so many years ago. The historical documents produced by the Disney Corporation.
I mean, minotaurs, they know how to use an axe. Bulls don't necessarily know how to use an axe.
So mechanic with these fire drakes, by the way.
That...
You go.
Okay, I'm willing to concede that they'd be more bird than anything else, but I think the other parts of your body would probably influence some of your behavior.
Sure.
So I think they have some cat-like instincts.
Some cat-like tendencies.
Like maybe if they see other birds, they just go... Eek, eek, eek.
That VTOL is really threading the needle here between these buildings. I'd be a little higher up. I wouldn't try to fucking go between the skyscrapers here. And, you know, in case the mythological creatures weren't compelling enough of an enemy to have to face, of course there's dudes with guns.
Spread out! Find Deckard! Shoot to kill!
I think they're coming for me.
Oh god, oh god, I should have paid my taxes. Shit.
Hi, how you doing? They don't seem very threatful versus the creatures running around here. So gunplay in this game. We have our hands on an SMG. It functions. It shoots bullets. They don't feel particularly strong. Gunplay is really important in a first-person shooter, as it turns out.
Nah, it isn't. I played Breakdown.
The exception that proves the rule.
Deckard, if you come across those soldiers, you've probably figured out they're not government. They're LaFay's private security force. He wants us both dead, and I don't know why. I'm heading towards Times Square. Meet me there.
Magic Meows asks if you're more accurate with the iron sights if they're just for show.
I
Might be
bet
hard to
they're
tell.
just for show. My assumption would be they're just for show.
Oh, okay. A guy waving you down from a distance, maybe that's not the best time to have that far distance lower frame rate thing happening, because I caught that.
Do you have any idea what's going on? Thought it was some kind of attack at first, but then those monsters showed up. Starting to think maybe it's the end of the world, you know? Feel like I should have gone to church more often.
This guy doing like a bad Christopher Walken?
Go home if it's still there.
That's what I'm picking up on.
Come on, let's get someplace drier.
Oh, you lead the way, buddy.
Are there any like health packs, or is it solely anima related?
It's solely Animus. Oh, wait, no.
I've been calling it anima this whole time. Is it animus in this game?
Yes. A werewolf
Okay.
will regenerate unless it is decapitated. It's good to know, I suppose. Is there anything I can use to heal myself up around here? Oh!
Him. Catch werewolfism, or catch lycanthropy, and then you'll regenerate.
At least I got a little bit more health back. You know, I'm not inherently opposed to this system of health, of having to kill enemies to regenerate. And, you know, human enemies not having the animus, you know, means that you have to play those fights a little safer. I think that's what the intentionality is.
I noticed that it made a point of you have to decapitate the werewolves to get them to kill them, but you can just shoot them, and that seems to decapitate them. I would think you'd have to be like take out the axe and then chop off his head.
Yeah, no, the impression I get, and the memory that I have, is just shooting them, and that generally seems to do a pretty good job at just inadvertently decapitating them, whether I'm aiming for the head or not. They kind of take enough bullets to the torso, to the ribs, and it just blows up their head. Some clunky platforming there.
Some bad hops. Looks like you gotta hotwire that door.
Don't gotta tell me twice. Well, I guess we're not going up anymore. Cool.
Not going. Definitely not going that way.
I mean, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
This door's locked.
Oh, wait, no, we're...
Whoa.
Can't open it.
Okay.
There's an override switch in the warehouse foreman's office. You'll have to find a way up there to reach the override switch for this door.
Can we just tear down, like, the chains here? I don't think this is... Oh, no, I guess it is.
Oh, never mind.
I guess there is glass there. Or, you know, laziness. Whichever.
Open it. There's an override switch in the warehouse foreman's office. You'll have to find a way up there to reach the override switch.
You have someone in the chat,
Where
Dido saying...
Dido says, I love Legendary.
Well, that's great. I'm not gonna shit on people who enjoy this game. I did see a few positive reviews for this game, as I was doing, like, the most moderate amount of research. I mean, well, you know, the Back Game Hall of Fame is all about sticking up for games that are widely detested. So I'm not going to say they're wrong. I'm just going to say that maybe I'll disagree. That I would love to hear the reasoning.
It has a 50 on Metacritic, which logically means that half of the people out there like it.
That's definitely how those averages work. That's definitely how statistics work.
Yep. I went to elementary school. I know math.
Alright, so we need to
Soul
be going...
Stuff says, I hate Legendary. Well, there you go. Half people like it, half people hate it.
And that is a definitive statistic. Our polling here is... Our census in the chat. Alright, how do I get up? How do I mark Echo get up there? Let's do some problem solving. Let's do some puzzle solving. And also grab some ammo while I'm at it. What can we climb up? What exists here to... keep coming back to this ladder here. This is where we came from.
Now, I remember where he was pointing when he said the foreman's office, but I don't know if that was, like, accurate or if that was just him gesticulating. Oh, that was a quick jump.
Yeah, when you're sprinting and jump, it zooms you forward.
Is it that door over there on the ground level of where you are?
No.
Oh, wait, there's a helpful arrow pointing you.
Yeah, I'm using the waypoint button, which at least does you the favor of telling you where point B is. Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Not entirely self-explanatory, but they cued you. I can't complain about them. That was just me being slow on the uptake. The waypoint was pointing to that point. It's not an Angel of Darkness situation where there's no guiding light to help you through it.
Let me help you with that.
Oh, but I think that thing is making its, there's an animation happening back there. Oh, I think I'm picking up what they're laying down. But can I open this door, though? No. Well, alright, then. Are we gonna have to wait now for this to rotate around and...
Yep.
You know, I don't love quote-unquote puzzles like this, where you're at the mercy of very slow-moving objects, and if you miss your window, if you miss your chance to hop on them, you have to wait like a full 30 seconds to a minute for it to continue to play out. I think it's pretty hacky, all things told.
This game is desperately missing the sponsorship from Monster Energy Drink.
Oh, that would have been so sweet of them. I mean, Homefront had Full Throttle.
Oh yeah, fix that printer. Or copier.
Alright, that one you can interact with. For a physics-driven game, you kind of have to have, everything be interactive to a certain extent. Otherwise, you're going to have people who are, testing every object like me. So, monitor, yes. Keyboard, no. Keyboard is bolted to the desk. These screens, bulletproof. Yeah, it's not good enough.
The little guitar strum when you hit the monitor.
I know that's super nitpicky, and I don't want to be one of those Twitter assholes who's Cloud Strife doesn't get wet when he jumps in the water. What's even the point of video games anymore? What's even the point of all this hardware if we can't do something so... But, you know, for a game that I think at a certain point was advertising it as a physics showcase, could have afforded to have a few more props in the environment, is all I'm saying. Could afford to have more fun with it. Instead, you just get these boxes that fall over and then get in your way, because you can't jump over them. You can bust them open, though, and then walk through them that way.
Your way, you're going the wrong way.
I know, I'm lost in this little maze. Really the littlest maze, not even a maze. I'm lost with basic geography within, an interior cell. Alright, where's our friend? Where's our buddy? But he had a button here this whole time? Fuck you, man. Made us go around that whole trip. Oh. What if he was lying? What if he just wanted to keep this hiding spot for himself? Maybe he left a message for us. Maybe this was his message.
I can't believe that asshole actually believed me.
For the last time, we need to patch up the catwalks before an accident happens. Not only is the floor starting to sag, screws have been found loosening up. It doesn't need to survive a major earthquake, but needs to hold up on our day-to-day operations. A little bit of, that's what we call world building right there. Perhaps you've heard of it.
World building is when you put a skeleton on a toilet.
As I've come to understand it, that is world building, yes. I think we just picked up someone else's tablet or phone and just read that email off of it, and it somehow transferred it to our tablet, which maybe Deckard has a super hacker tablet. Maybe we're just meant to assume that him being the criminal mastermind that he is, that's why he's intercepting people's text messages and emails. You know, they might have, like, sensitive information.
I hope if I knew a volcano was exploding, like, right now next to me, that I would have the presence of mind to do something funny for the moment I got Vesuvius'd.
the moment you become Pompeii.
Yeah.
What pose are you striking?
Oh, I don't know. God, that's a good question. Do I do something lewd? Do I try to think of something real quick that would be ironic? Do I, like put up the finger guns or something?
There's so many good options. You think there's something on the other side of that? Only one way to find out. Well, there we go. You know, they could have made that physics object hurt you, but I suspect that physics objects are incapable of hurting you in this game.
Johnny Back has his JoJo pose.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
good.
the obvious answer. Yeah. No, Bad got it in one. Oh, I remember this from Nightmare on Elm Street part, what was it, Dream Warriors? Welcome to Primetime, bitch. Levels in this game, if you don't fuck around, you just take around like 30 minutes. We somehow managed to drag this one out for an hour. Oh, you know, actually, no, there was like 20 minutes of technical hiccups at the start of this one, so, you know, give or take 10 minutes off that time. That's not how you use a computer, silly. Sleeping on the job.
Like a cat on the keyboard.
Oh, I'm stuck on this chair. Oh, no, there we go. Use a breather. I could use a sit for a minute.
This is how you sit on chairs.
Don't be a sourpuss. There's gotta be a way to get that in frame without this gun being in the way. I guess I just gotta do it like this. Good enough. I mean, that's gotta be the dream. That's what every level designer wants to do, is just make, like, fake motivational calendars in an office environment. That's the height. That's when you know you've made it in this industry. When you're doing that on a professional scale.
Alright, can you... Ugh. Anyway, can you think of a better office than the one in Fear? No, in a video game.
You know, oh, rat!
Rat.
Goodbye, friend. I hope you survive. Controversial take. The office levels in Fear, they look cool, and they're like, there's some fun set piece stuff there, but is it the best part of the game? No.
I am talking specifically just about the look.
Okay, aesthetically, yeah, it's pretty peak. I honestly enjoy playing, because I'm gameplay first. Oh, a video game piece saying, The Ring Terror's Realm. Yeah, there you go. That's the CDC building. I was gonna say that the office levels in Max Payne 3 are pretty fun, in terms of, like, actual, like, you know, physics, playing, the interplay of physics, and the cubicles getting torn down by gunfire and stuff. Roll around, it'll be aight. Alright, can I get in here? No. Very linear. I don't know if you've gathered that or not, but we are on one track on this game, and there is not much in the way of room for interpretation or exploring. But, you know, not every game needs to be open world or whatever, but when you're doing destruction on a citywide scale, when you're navigating the ruins of New York City, there should be some time, some accommodation, some consideration made for sightseeing. Being railroaded in this way really kind of takes... it lowers the scale. It makes it feel, like, smaller than it... You know, you want to try to make it seem larger than it actually is when you're designing a level like this. And being so railroaded, being, like, having to wait as animations play out to open up paths for you and the like, just really reinforces, like, oh yeah, this is a video game. This is linear. This is, like, you are on the track that we have set out for you. This is a thrill ride.
Yeah, oh, that's what I was about to say, though. You can see it being, like, the fact that it's trying to be such a spectacle that they feel like it should be like a roller coaster. I'm not saying that's necessarily like good, but I can see like if they want to show you so many cool things that they would make it, you know, linear. I'm not saying that's the only reason this game is linear, but you know.
Bag saying, you're in the subway though, railroads are mandatory. Well, you know, how about the fact we've been in the subway, that we keep coming back. We left the subway and then came back to the subway in the span of this singular level. You know, that's kind of a condemnation in and of itself. And then Magic Meows snidely commenting, Cass, lover of Call of Duty games that punish you anytime you try to color outside the lines. And no, those levels at least are more open in the sense that there are like multiple paths. They all take you to the same points. But, you know, you have, like, you know, you can go through these buildings here. You can go through the middle of the road. Whatever kind of engagement you favor. There is, like, a way to do
You're talking about
design.
Older Call of Duty games at that point, though.
Well, even the newer ones. I mean, I know people hate that new Modern Warfare, the one that just, like, reuses its multiplayer levels, repurposes them as single-player levels, just populates them with objectives and sets you loose. And that's maybe going too far in one direction. But, you know, when I say linear, I should be clear. Like, yes, most games, most narrative games are point A to point B, right? Pretty straight path. Developer shows you what they want you to see. But, you know, there should still be room for, you know, what if I wanted to, like, find a way through this door here rather than powering this down? There should be, like, multiple routes that lead to that point B. Even if it's only 2 or 3 of them. Even if it's just,
really
like,
talking
you know,
with your hands here.
well, yeah, I mean, that's Mamma Mia. That's the Italian in me, I'm sorry. But, you cannot sprint or jump when moving through water. Well,
Dr.
sprint,
Teflon
sure. Why can't I
says,
jump?
Dr. Teflon says, the Unreal Engine 3 look is so strong.
Oh, it's definitive. Yeah, it's unmistakable. You can apply whatever, like, style you want to your models, and I don't know if I buy the physics on that. Also, I don't know if I would buy, like, being safe standing right here while that was happening. I think there'd be debris. I think there'd be, like, stuff happening. Oh, we can't not pick up this data, though.
I'm trying to think right now. Unreal Engine 3. Wait, oh, you want to...
Yeah, Millie, can you believe what is happening? It's like a dream come true for me. If I can study one of these creatures, maybe they'll name one after me. Wish me luck, Cyrus. This guy, his priorities, maybe just a little out of whack. Maybe just slightly. Maybe if the world was ending, my first thought wouldn't be, I wonder if I can get one of these creatures named after me. I wonder if I can submit to a scientific journal. Do you think they'll be taking stories? Do you think they'll be taking submissions about this?
Alright, so what I was thinking was Unreal Engine 3, right? We know what it looks like. Unreal Engine 1. Obviously, Unreal Engine.
Sure.
What was Unreal Engine 2?
Oh, there were a few games on it. I mean,
yeah, but it's just not one of those ones that you really think of a lot, right? It's not like, doesn't feel quite as ubiquitous.
Well, I mean,
as when you talk about a UE3 or a UE4 game.
That's not entirely true, because UTK, Unreal Tournament 2K3 and 2K4, I believe, leveraged the Unreal 2 engine. Oh, we'll come back to that thought.
Thank God you made it. Follow me and I'll get us out of the city.
Lady, can you pull your shirt down, lady?
The soldiers got
I am looking it up right now.
A while ago. Something is happening in Times Square.
What seems weird is that there are games from like 2010 that were still using Unreal 2. But
well, yeah,
a lot of big ones. Bioshock.
You can license it for a song. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing about engines is that, like, they don't necessarily become obsolete overnight when they release a new engine. There's obviously games that are still in development that would leverage, like, an engine that, you know, began development while that engine was still relevant. And, you know, furthermore, there are games that, you know, you can gussy up. You can add layers to it. You can make the presentation more than it, like, was imagined or envisioned to be. But also, you know, all this talk of engines is very much overblown. People really misuse the word engine a lot when they mean to say just, like, foundational code. Or mean
although
to say,
in this case, I am very specifically talking about the product called Unreal Engine.
Okay, fair points. What are you waiting for, Lee? I walked in.
Yeah, Red Steel was Unreal Engine 2.
This isn't what LaFace said was going to happen today. I had no idea those creatures were going to be released, or that he'd try to kill both of us. Luckily,
I had no idea opening Pandora's box would result in something bad happening.
I mean, who could have predicted this?
If you understand my meaning.
Vivian, I thought those access codes looked familiar, and you have Deckard at your side. It seems you two have a greater aptitude for survival than I anticipated.
LeFay, you bastard! You set us up to open the box. Why?
My dear, if I didn't let you in on the details of my operation when I hired Mr. Deckard, what makes you think I'm going to do so now?
You think this guy's a villain? Do you think he's the baddie?
Be trusted.
I think he's misunderstood.
Why kill us then?
We should hear him
I
out.
want dead for very specific reasons, and while you don't know my full plans for Pandora's box, Vivian, you know enough to be inconvenient.
Deckard, I want dead because I told him to refill the coffee machine once he had the last cup.
Just business.
What do you think this message is meant to say?
He distracted us and sent
Uh,
finish us off.
It's supposed to be like a printed out email, but the text
Clearly
is illegible.
more important than whatever's going down around us.
Okay. So, interesting note I want to highlight here. We're going to stay in this room.
Alright.
Let's look at where she's shooting. What she's shooting at. All right, Vivian, give it another go, girl.
Well, so far, nothing.
All right, so she's shooting at a designated point. But what if her bullets were to collide with the enemies? What do you think would happen? Would they take damage? Even like a little bit of damage. Like, I don't expect her to kill people, but, you know, to at least soften them up a little bit. That's how a video game typically operates when you have people who are, like, working as support, who are assisting you. Not this game. I can tell you with complete confidence and certainty that those bullets are fake. Completely imaginary, and that we will have allies with guns later in large-scale battles against the creatures. That was another selling point of this game, was large-scale battles between humans and the mythological creatures that you insert yourself into the middle of. The problem is, none of these guns do any damage to other creatures besides us,
Those soldiers are on our
which is a problem.
You know what I would like to see a video game do?
What?
Like a large-scale battle game, like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield type, right? Where you're just part of a larger squad. I want it to be possible to do a pacifist run, where your entire,
Oh,
the rest of the army finishes the game for you, if you just hide and wait in the right places.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games, whether they advertise or not, or, you know, broadcast or not, let you do that. That being said, these are our guys. They can get killed. They cannot do any damage. I mean, they can't even find a spot to shoot, for God's sake.
Very indecisive. They're excited. They've been training for this, and they just kind of don't know what to do. They're freezing up.
Useless.
Particularly this guy right here.
Oh, there goes our backup. I guess literally. Oh well, I was dilly-dallying so much. Okay, what if I did this so that I actually did it like at pace? What if I actually just like played the game as intended? I really just wanted to show. I just wanted to highlight the fact that our allies can't do anything. That we do literally all of the work in this entire game.
Johnny Baghead says that's kind of what MGS4 was like. Okay, so what I'm talking about is, I know there are sections of games where you can let your allies, take care of stuff. So, I mean the entire game.
I'll get us out of the city.
I mean like a pure pacifist run of a game, because a lot of games will have you,
The soldiers got
like your Call of Duties and stuff too, will say like, okay, you need to go in alone for this mission. Like, no, none of that. An entire game where you can just be
today.
the
Completely
most
passive.
worthless, the most worthless soldier in the entire army,
Luckily, I know some
and
people.
still reach the ending.
Sort of an enemy of my enemy relationship, if you understand my meaning.
I neglected to consider we'd have to sit through this entire cutscene again, or this entire in-engine.
Vivian, it seems you.
Well, I guess that skip doesn't work. I thought if I just killed the final boss through there, we might be able to just
LeFay!
skip to the ending, but this isn't Two Worlds. A game I'm still strongly considering playing on stream, even if it takes like 200 parts to get through it.
Frankly,
Magic Meows says, I'm surprised Grimbeard hasn't done a video on this game. Seems like something he would have.
I want dead for very specific reasons.
Well, we're beating Grimbeard to the punch on this one.
Plans for Pandora's box, Vivian. You know enough.
There is a
So farewell, my dear, and
irrational fear in the back of my mind
sure you're professionally
that
to understand.
Grimbeard will discover us at some point. Because for as much as we're like fans of his and all that stuff, we do use an audio clip of him in a lot of our videos.
Yeah, and he'll absolutely he's absolutely the sort who will sue us for that, right? That'll take us to court over our homage to him.
I just mean like I would think like he would think that we're weird. Like, oh, these guys cover these games, but like, why do I keep hearing myself talking about rats in all of them? That is very weird, a weird thing to do.
Let's just heal back here. I will say that not having like traditional med kits or like recharging health does complicate a fight, which is primarily humans, people with guns shooting at us, all hit scan weapons, very difficult to dodge or recover from.
Because you're fighting a race, humans, that do not have a soul, thus you can't heal.
Maybe our guys will at least distract these guys, and I can just pick off the last two before this goes belly up again. They don't lower the sensitivity at all. They don't lower the mouse speed when you're in iron sights here. I feel obligate to point out. Which really negates the usefulness. Like. Oh, whoa. Thank God.
That guy was still on his feet when that cutscene triggered.
Area secure. What do we do with Deckard and Vivian? Copy that.
He says this one's for the coffee.
Afternoon, Miss Kane. Lovely to see you again. Now, could you please tell me exactly why I shouldn't shoot you and your companion right here, right now?
It's mean.
Lexington was a field commander for the Council of 98. Before LeFay abandoned me, I had more than one encounter with Lexington and the Council, as an enemy agent. Now the Council was our only hope to stop whatever plan LeFay had for Pandora's box. Lexington was reluctant to believe my sincerity, but I knew too much about—
How much you want to bet this is concept art, repurposed for cutscenes they didn't feel like animating, dialogue exchanges didn't feel like giving like a full treatment.
To Pandora's box.
Because you have to know this is low rent as a developer.
I would help the Council retrieve Pandora's box and stop LeFay's plan in exchange for safe haven.
I feel like
the enemy of our enemy had
the realization they didn't have time to make these cutscenes came before this art, rather than the other way around.
It might be, especially this shot that transitioned back into like this FMV.
Bet that thing stings like crazy. Probably should watch where you stick your hands in the future, huh?
Everybody look up.
That's what we were telling them.
Boss is online.
All units, listen up. This is Lexington. Pandora's box has been intercepted by a giant creature, some kind of golem. The thing forms by absorbing wreckage from its surroundings.
I think my favorite example of a game where legitimately what they did was just take the concept art and repurpose it as cutscenes. Fight Club on PS2. Article on the site, badgamehalloffame.com/fight-club. That is a game where they legitimately, inarguably, took their concept art. You can tell because every single character in the game wears a turtleneck sweater and jeans in the slideshow cutscenes. Wears the same placeholder outfit, which doesn't even appear in-game on any of their in-game models. So it wasn't some stylistic choice. It was just a way to delineate characters who are either clothed or shirtless, as is called for in Fight Club. And that's just the cutscenes in that game. All of them.
Do we see Fred Durst in a turtleneck?
No, he unfortunately does not feature in the actual narrative of the game, purely as an unlockable secret character, along with Abe Lincoln.
Oh no, another supernatural creature. A helicopter.
Defies the laws of man. You were never meant to fly.
I don't believe you're actually ever going to fight that golem.
Seeing is believing.
Bluebird 2, report status. Bluebird 2, come in. Damn, we lost.
This is no good. We need to get above ground. We have to reach our choppers.
I don't know, above ground kind of sucks. Seems bad up there.
Yeah, can we just ride it out down here?
6, this is Charlie Leader. We got signal flares on Bluebird 1 crash site. EMP power supply looks busted up.
Watch out behind you!
Copy that. Stand by.
What is this thing?
Let's find out what that thing is. Oh, it's a Black Hawk helicopter.
Okay, gotcha.
According to this PDA.
Okay, I'm guessing either Banshee or Will-o-the-Wisp.
Limos. Wait, what is a Limos werewolf? Oh, updates below. There are updates. So we get updated files to give us, like, you know, clues if there's specific ways to defeat them, I suppose. The Hunger Crazed Limos werewolf is fairly easy to take down one-on-one. Yeah, tell it to all the cops it killed, I guess. Cold comfort for all the people who got mauled to death by it.
Is that Animus back? No, that's just the thing that's going around everywhere.
There's one. There's another.
Oh, poltergeists.
Watch it!
I mean, seems harmless. It's not throwing the boxes at us or anything. And when it does, it doesn't seem to do much.
Now, if I know...
Oh, never mind. I didn't see the damage on screen. It drained the health without giving me a visual indicator of it.
Hey, by the way, congrats on making a very good clip.
Oh, thank you. I do my best. Oh my god!
Bluebird 1 on site.
Really?
Oh, boy. Did they give you extra health back? It seemed like they did.
Yeah, I think they No.
No, you had so little health. Considering that box killed you in one hit. Like, you were straddling the line of death for that whole time. Unless you take a lot of damage when you fall here.
They couldn't have you take damage from this fall. That would be so irresponsible. That would break so much shit.
Because I'm just saying, because you had like almost no health when you were down there, so unless they take away that health when you fall, I think they gave you some health back.
All right, enough fucking around. Let's get the show on the
road. They gave you some courtesy help.
Oh no.
Bluebird 2, report status. Bluebird 2, come in. Damn, we lost.
This is no good.
How far ahead can I get of these guys, do you think?
We have to reach our choppers.
The game is going to fight you every step of the way. I bet.
6, this is Charlie Leader. We got
Oh no, letting you so far.
EMP power supply was busted up.
Copy that. Stand by.
Oh, there was Animus there.
Yeah, I guess you were right. I just wasn't observant. I thought it was I thought it was that thing.
Okay, so
Watch it!
if I know my ghost hunting shows,
and you do, presumably,
then what that thing flying around is actually the psychic projection of a teenage girl.
That has to parse to me. Mythological creature, the teenage girl.
That's what I remember hearing, like, back in the day when I was, like, super into, like, ghost stuff. They always said, like, poltergeists are actually, like, the psychic manifestation of, teenage girls. Like, going through puberty or something. Like, it gets expressed through shit flying around the environment, people thinking it's ghosts.
Well, if you read it online, it has to be. Also, I just want to note that a giant tentacle came up through the water, grabbed the guy that was dingling onto that bus, and now, what is our next move? Yeah, go in the water.
Yeah. So, giant monsters in the water, that's caused by boys in their teenage years going through hormonal changes.
Ow. Well, that hardly seemed fair. Let's see where they checkpoint us.
Back outside, back at the subway before the golem attacks.
Oh, thank Christ.
Okay.
Oh, wait, this guy's actually here this time. One of the guys made it in this version of reality.
Everybody saw that, right? Giant slimy thing grabbing a guy.
Well, that just happened.
Can you shoot him? Is that allowed? No? Okay.
Yeah, so when we got ahead of these guys, they weren't around to comment on that or assist us or...
Debate.
Yeah, if they take a tentacle for us, then they'll have come in handy. Alright, bye guys. I'm assuming you'll, like, figure things out on your own. If you're not already dead. Those two hapless goons. Yeah. Let's see if they... Echidna technical... Well, I've seen an echidna. I'm not sure if those are... Oh, I'm sorry. In Greek mythology, echidna, the mother of all monsters, had the face and torso of a beautiful woman, but the body of a serpent. I'd like to see the face and torso parts.
Well, if you let her drag you down there, she'd see her.
Ooh, let's go back then.
Yes, it is very weird that the little spiny cute rat was named after, like, one of the most horrible monsters of Greek mythology.
Oh, did I hear someone shooting a shotgun? That shotgun will be mine. Oh, let's read this message. There's tentacle things grabbing people all over the place. I think I found a way to get above ground. See you soon! I love how hopeful the people are sending text messages to another. I'm gonna get featured in a scientific journal. Good luck, wish me luck, I'll see you soon! And it's like, death toll, millions.
What's that noise?
Oh, they're trying to be scary with, like, you know, like the sounds of little girls screaming and giggling and stuff.
No, I meant that tone, like. Ee. Oh. I bet they're gonna call these harpies.
I would think so.
Even though that wouldn't make sense.
Alright, where's that shotgun? That's all I care about. Who cares about that cop who just died? I just want his 12 gauge. Actually, you know what? Naris. Legends of demonic beings called Nari come from Eastern Europe. The Slavic myth. I thought this was all like Greek mythology shit. Or I guess it's a mix. It's mix and match. This protects Nari from physical harm.
Golem is not Greek mythology.
They can become intangible at will. So we can't hurt them when they're looking like that. We gotta wait for them to materialize. I wonder if this will work. Yep, I think we landed in our strategy. I think we actually have to use Animus. Put them out of their misery. I was hoping the shotgun landed up here.
Did you know that there's, first of all, looking this up, apparently the Nari are, more accurately would be Nob, N-A-B.
Like Navi?
Just Nov, N-A-B. But, you also know that there's a legendary wiki.
There's wikis for anything and everything.
Yeah, the status for this enemy is annoying.
that they have a dedicated field for it?
Yes, title Nari. Race mythological creature. Level low. Status annoying.
Oh, there's the shotgun. Alright, I hate to say goodbye, pistol. There we go. Appropriately shotgunning. Feels good. I mean, I guess we have to see what its impact on an enemy that's a little bigger than those little pin-sized nabby, but I'm sure we'll get our opportunity. I'm sure we'll get opportunities in spades. Where Dito's saying, feels better than Doom 3 shotgun, huh? Not a high bar. I mean, it doesn't feel as good as Doom 2 super shotgun, so I mean...
I don't remember the Doom 3 shotgun feeling.
Yeah, that's because it's the Doom 3 shotgun. It's not great.
Well, it's been a while since I played Doom 3. Like, whenever it came out on the Switch is the last time I played Doom 3.
That feels like it'd be recent enough. That's more recent than most people have probably played Doom 3, which would have been like
that would be
circa
2020.
2004, 2005. I haven't used these Molotov cocktails though. I haven't used grenades at all.
Shoot him!
Shoot who? Shoot what? Well,
shoot 2019 is when it came out on Switch, so that's the last time I played Doom 3.
Again, still more recent than most folk, I would hazard a guess. I'm worried that all these things are going to fall out from underneath me. They did it like 3 times in that previous room where we kept falling into the water and having to get like right back up and go through all the walkways again. I just know it's going to fucking happen here. As I was saying...
There's that noise again, which is just a guitar, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's just like feedback sound. Well, it's a good thing that thing didn't stick around in this enclosed room where it could very easily kill us. I mean, they went through the trouble of, like, destroying the walkways underneath us, so clearly it recognized we were here, recognized us as a threat, but did not decide to stick around long enough to do anything about it. Also, I cannot crouch in the water. You know, because God forbid we drown here. I guess we'll come back around for that one. This is probably a bad idea, but... Not my worst idea, though. People are asking in the chat, debating, is this a sewer level? Yes! The answer is yes.
It's a sewer. It is a sewer, so...
And, you know, I'm not of the opinion that sewer levels are inherently bad. I know that's the trope. I know that's the, you know, time to sewer level metric for, like, rating stuff in the same way, like, you know, time to barrel and whatnot. But, I mean, you could do a decent sewer level. It's that most games choose not to, or don't have the know-how to do it. And when you get down to it, fundamentally, what people don't like about sewer levels is the claustrophobia, is the complete lack of, like, horizontal space to move, to dodge, like, attacks and stuff. The fact that it's, like, very hacky and cliche, the fact there's usually, like, valve puzzles attached to them. And, I mean, to be clear, this game is playing into every single one of those design tropes. So, not a good sewer level here. I'm trying to think if there's a good sewer level I can think of off the top of my head. And I guess I can't. Alright, I'll help you, sir. Oh, wait, no. Well, what are you pointing to? Is there something happening around here? Oh, that thing! I would have missed it if it wasn't for them pointing to it, you know, it's...
Deckard, you should be able to see signal flares in each EMP generator. The generators need to be fully powered up in order to fire. Good luck.
EMP generator? Did we get any sort of, like, heads up about that? Were we clued into this plan at all? Did we talk over when they mentioned what that was all about? Also, time for a new weapon already. Proper assault rifle. Let's read some of these book titles.
Lazard
Direct. Maybe there's a cleaner copy of that. No, all those books have the same exact scuffing on it. Well, maybe we'll read some of the other ones then. That one has no title whatsoever, just very striking graphic on the front. Very conceptual book.
TKMK.
Just those 3 books. Oh, wait, no. Oh, here's one. Again, untitled. How are you going to have a bookshelf? Are you going to have, like a bookstore storefront? Oh, I'm sorry. The Soft Rock Cafe. I guess these aren't books, even though they have the Dimensions books. What are these supposed to be? I guess they're supposed to be albums.
DVDs?
Maybe. But how are you going to make these? How are you going to be a graphic designer and make these and not have this, like, goofy titles for all of them? I mean, you went through the trouble of calling this a soft rock cafe. We're in Times Square. We're seeing, like, fake beer ads and Particle Elf, new formula, whatever the fuck that means. But you're not going to put titles on the fucking books here?
To absorb energy from dead creatures. It may also let you
read the instruction manual.
Other objects. I think you'll be able to act as a power source.
Can you charge my phone for me?
This is essential.
Your only chance to bring down that golem.
Alright, so I think this is actually, like, a big part of the multiplayer, is collecting animus and using to fuel these machines. I think that was, like, basically the main multiplayer mode. In that, was, like, basically a domination mode built around being the first team to, like, feed these things. Which required, like, killing enemies. Like so.
Good.
Oh, it's right on top of us. I think we were supposed to be, like, probably killed by that or injured by it. Or otherwise inconvenienced by it. But it kind of just, its foot kind of just clipped right through us. Also, something is going funky with my mouse. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that killed you.
That's what I was waiting for. Alright, so there is some amount of damage you can take from that.
As one might expect.
Yeah, but I mean, at first it didn't, though. That was the thing. That's what raised my eyebrow. Alright, let's take...
I think it was trying to be generous in terms of not killing you with the entire length of the thing.
It's like, it has shockwaves as making the steps. I don't think those actually hurt me or do anything. I think those are just for show. It might just be the collision of the golem's foot with my body.
And I think it might be just the collision of, like, more like the center than the extremities. Not enough that I would say test out how much leeway you have, but I think it gives you a little leeway.
Yeah, the shotgun in this game is fine. Definitely a damn sight better than the other weapons they've offered us so far, they've had us playing around with.
Off the top of your head, can you think of your favorite shotgun in a game?
I mean, Doom 2 Super Shotgun. I know it's the generic answer, I know it's the obvious answer, but... any good, like, 12-gauge type thing. Anything that's pump action is going to feel really good in the hand in a video game.
First EMP. Says...
you get back here.
I'm also trying to think of an answer for myself. I'm having a hard time coming with an answer.
I'm sure you'll think of something. Oh, Johnny Bag is saying Halo 1 shotgun. That's a good answer.
Like, I have a gut reaction of Bulletstorm having a good shotgun, but I cannot remember it. Like... apparently it was called the Bone Duster in that game.
I'll believe you. Fear shotgun.
Oh yeah, Fear shotgun. That's a good one.
I mean, we even mentioned Fear earlier. We didn't remember it though. Yeah. So.
We mentioned Fear in reference to the office environments. That's what we were talking about with Fear.
Sure.
Like we were talking about just environmental design.
You know what the game also has? Dual pistols. And, you know, according to Cassidy's law, any game that has dual pistols cannot be bad. Does this game have dual pistols? Clearly not. Tells you everything you need to know, really. Dapper Chap Retro. Everything old is new. What's the URL there? Dapper Chap Apparel.com. Bullseye. Apparel, garments. Hold on, sir. Rude. Live magical performance. The great Langtini world of whimsy. I think we still catch that show. 26th to 20th October 2008. Shit. Video City Music Hall. Come on. A little harder. Try a little harder than that. Fiery monsters all over the subways, wolf things running amok. We're all gonna die. The end is near. Finally, someone who's like actually appreciative of the stakes here, who understands what's going on.
We're all gonna die, and I'm gonna be famous.
See you soon. I can't wait to retire tomorrow.
Oh no! For this, it would be more like finally, I can retire today. Who cares if I go into work tomorrow?
My boss is gonna kill me for being so late today. Oh, that should probably behooves me to absorb some of that. Ow. This game really likes putting you in these vents. Boy, howdy. These conveniently sized vents that New York absolutely has, right? All these ones that you can sort of crouch walk your way through. You know, when the streets are too busy, when traffic's really backed up, this is actually how New Yorkers, this is how you travel. This is the fastest way through the city, is underneath all the traffic.
We gotta get
mind
the
if
EMP functional if we're gonna bring that golem down. We'll try to keep these monsters at bay while you look for the parts.
Well, you can try, but you can't do anything because you can't actually hurt the monsters. But, you know, you're welcome to try. What were you saying, Charkie? What did you want to...
But is the subway still running?
Evidently. I mean, people got to get to work. People got places to go. People to meet.
But can I share an apropos of nothing story?
By all means.
It's a news story. So this broke yesterday, but apparently a U.S. Air Force employee was charged with giving classified information to a woman he met on a dating site. Right? So there are text logs of messages that she sent him, and I think these are funny because it feels like Tom Clancy writing a romance novel. So here are some of the messages. Dear, what is shown on the screens in the special room? It is very interesting. And, by the way, you were the first to tell me that NATO members are traveling by train, and only now, already evening, this was announced on our news. You are my secret informant love. How are your meetings? Successfully?
Oh, this thing is shooting cans at us. That's adorable. Sorry.
No, that is fun.
That's a really fun touch. Credit where credit's due. They put this vending machine in front of the door, so I guess we're stuck here until we figure out what they want us to do here. Which I guess is probably destroy all these vending machines.
Sweet Dave, the supply of weapons is completely classified, which is great. My sweet Dave, thanks for the valuable information. It's great that 2 officials from the USA are going to Kiev.
I mean, they're so subtle. I mean, no wonder our intelligence officers are so routinely thwarted by these masterful secret agents.
Like, I've never heard a flirtatious text that reads like an exposition dump.
Well, you haven't seen me send text messages to my boo. It's all about, like... I loved watching the movie tonight. How about those classified documents, huh? How about that intelligence we smuggled out of Langley? See you soon! Dinner's on me!
So many monsters in the city, though.
So, in case you haven't gathered what we're doing here in the subway for the 4th or 5th or 20th time... is we are gathering the parts of the other EMP device, which I guess broke into 3 segments that they're going to be able to just reconstruct on the spot. They'll snap into each other, really. I mean, it's really even like a trifle, yeah, to even like have to like do this, but this away. How did it wind up in this subway car? How did one piece of it end up in the subway car, I should say, where the other ones are scattered across the rest of this place? In which way did this break?
Someone was trying to steal it.
I used to have an answer for everything, don't you?
my dearest Dave, thank you for promising to bring me that EMP part.
You know, it's always been our dream as a couple to own one. Oh, this one's possessed. I guess we're gonna have to unpossess it if we want to get it. Oh, I guess
I'll do it. Just shoot it a few times, and the poltergeist will be like, "Yeah, all right, you got me."
Also, how are we carrying all these? I assume this is probably like a pretty like heavy piece of machinery.
I mean, they expected you to go in there and just take Pandora's box, so sure, carrying shit is not an issue for Deckard.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be a master thief, but I mean, like, he seems like a master strongman to me. That seems like more pertinent. Certainly helping us with the monster slaying.
He's got like a bag of holding or something.
Over here, Deckard. We'll set it up under this hole in the ceiling.
Okay.
Watch my back while I wire this EMP back together. One wrong move and this thing could explode.
Nah, seems fine to me. If the shotgun shell doesn't do it, then I'm assuming it's pretty bulletproof.
That was the right move.
It's like when people say, like, you know, like, to fix a computer, you smack it around a little bit. If you just shoot it, what could be more efficient than that? What could knock the screws back into place better than that could? Is this where all the monsters are going to come out of? Can I just park my butt right here? I'm looking around. I'm seeing if they come from any other sources. Anything? Anyone?
Oh wait, I hear shooting. Right. Oh, there we go. Coming out of that subway car now.
But just 2 of them. They could probably stand to make this a little more challenging. Toss a few more enemies at us.
One wrong move. Yeah, don't poke the bear, because you'll have to do this whole thing again.
Well, he's almost done. Just give him a little more time. All I'm saying is that it's hard to get invested in the stakes of this game that it's trying to, like, you know, present to us when all the scripting is so transparent. I feel like that's really the issue that everything sort of comes back to. That, you know, all the complaints I've had sort of center around just, like, really heavily scripted events happening. And, like, even, like, a casual player, someone who's not completely, like, versed in game design, you sort of start to see the code. Games should strive to do a little bit better of a job masking that stuff. Immersing you in some capacity. Rather than just laying the code bare for you to tell, like, well, that's a scripted animation right there, so I can't do anything about that. These guys can't actually damage the enemies, so I have to do all the work here. Think that guy's alright? He had a good head on his shoulders, that one. Monster infighting.
Oh, interesting. Also, you were definitely just shooting that werewolf in the torso and his head popped off.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's just you do a certain amount of damage to them, you meet, like, whatever threshold, and if you're using, like, a powerful enough weapon, it's just like, yeah, that would take their head clean off.
Like, they made a big deal over the thing about you have to decapitate them, and that seems to have not been a concern at any point.
Extraction ASAP.
Well, it's what I like to call, like... Well, that was interesting. I guess I don't really have a name for it. I guess I don't like to call it anything, but it's something I've observed, which is like games pretend they have more mechanics than they actually do. Like, I've observed games that lie about having stealth mechanics. Like, you gotta stay outside, you gotta stay crouched, otherwise they'll hear your footsteps and turn your flashlight off. Otherwise, they'll spot you, and you can just, like, walk up to dudes. You can literally sprint up to dudes with your flashlight on, shine it right in their face, and they just won't notice at all, so long as you're not within their cone of vision. It's games pretending they have more depth than they actually do, or referencing mechanics that aren't actually fully implemented in the game.
In Dark Souls 3, equip these items to increase your poise.
Yeah, you know, which, you know, in that case, it's like, you know, probably like rebalancing eventually, you know, serve to minimize the capacity of that thing, and they maybe didn't update the tooltips to reflect that.
No, that wasn't a tooltip thing. That was a reference to poise being a stat and doing basically nothing.
Yes, I'm aware of that, but I'm saying, like, you know, they say, like, you know, if you go to the in-game menu for that, if you go to the help tooltip and hover over poise, it probably describes some sort of mechanic around it that ultimately, like, is not present.
And it's been a while since I played it, so, I mean, the tooltip might just be that shrug emoji for poise.
Those dastardly little nabby made off with that wheel. With that valve, and there it is. And now we have it. So no harm, no foul. Okay.
Yep. Alright, spooky.
What do you want us to do, game? Are we just like walking underneath it? Do we need to like... Okay, no, I guess they just wanted us to observe. Oh, I see. Yeah, I can just walk backwards and this isn't really... Yeah, all that build up for that. They really wasted 30 seconds of our time to establish the stakes and establish that we're in a dangerous situation that is remedied by just shooting out the supports of that thing.
Legendary. All that build up for that.
Deckard, do you hear that? We're counting on you.
We know you're a criminal, we know you're responsible for this whole mess, but also we're putting all our faith in you. Go get him, Tiger.
Alright. After you leave this area... Okay. So we're above ground now. Do you think the next place you go to is going to be a subway or a sewer?
I'm putting my money down on Subway.
Alright, so you're gonna alternate this time.
You gotta have variety in the game, you know? Oh, I want to read another message. Saw a giant pickup bus and tossed it across the street. Forget the presentation, I'm getting out while I can. What he was just like, well, we gotta stick to the presentation though. I've been working on it for weeks. We gotta get the account, otherwise the company's gonna go out of business.
One of these messages just be like, and the prom's tomorrow. It's good to let you were saying earlier about this game letting you see like the human impact of this monster invasion, just how inconvenienced everyone's lives are.
Yeah, no, that's the true cost. That's the true toll being taken here. I can kind of just stand in place and these things will come to me. Then I can tap them and I can just heal off of them. If I were so inclined, if I wanted to waste my time and the viewers.
Very aggressive health packs.
Again, I think there's a merit to healing off of killing enemies.
I mean, that's like how the Doom 2016 worked, more or less.
To an extent, to be sure. That's probably enough. If we need to recharge off of that, we have a whole litany of it down there. We have plenty of resources we can leverage down there. But I just kind of want to keep reading messages. Nari energy signature similar to low-powered EMP device may be significant. Nah, probably won't be. Oh, what's in there? I go wait for my stamina recharge. Oh, just ammo. Boring. You know, after so long being in this continuous set piece, this New York under siege, the siege, all this destruction, I don't feel anything anymore looking at all this. Kind of just rings hollow. Like, you gotta be like...
destroy New York so much.
Oh, I got physics.
Oh.
There was some object or like some like scripted thing happening behind me that I had my back to because I was dealing with the enemies. And it intersected with me in a way that the game saw fit to drain all my health. But they spawned us on this top floor, so... that was probably it, huh? It was probably something to do with that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, don't have our attention drawn to these enemies around us. Okay. Where's that EMP generator? Where's the objective? There is no waypoint right now. Oh, wait, no, wait.
You think he just wants you to kill the Nari?
I guess so. Going down? Down below again? Oh, that was stupid. What was I thinking there?
Down here? Is it in here?
It's in the basement.
Is it inside the fire?
Oh, Vey. Okay. There it goes.
I think it went across the street.
We better get the fuck out of here then.
I don't know, maybe they want you to kill the Nari.
I mean, that's my presumption. We just need to figure out where they're hiding out, where they're congregating. Send us all the way up there so they can send us back down here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, there it is.
Okay. Why not? Sure. Do it.
Oh,
see you.
I see the mechanic. It's gonna keep changing floors. Or keep getting, like, taken away so long as there's Nari still around. So I need to kill them, collect the Animus, go back upstairs.
It seems like the, Let me get stolen away again in a second. Yeah. I was about to say, what if you kill, like, the Nari that's tethered to it or something, but I was like, no, that's giving this game too much.
No, what they're trying to do is they're trying to extend this sequence. They didn't want you to just, like, charge it off of one full charge. They wanted to segment it. They wanted to have enemies attacking in the middle of it and not have it just immediately serve into filling up the machine.
I also feel like they wouldn't have had it dynamically drop down into a new location. Like, it's going to places that they've decided that it's going to land.
Don't take it away. By Jove, I think we've done it.
I knew this wasn't gonna be a boss fight. Does it have a taxi for a head?
I believe it does. Well, that was kind of unspectacular.
That was legendary, folks. Thanks for watching.
All right, so these are obviously the bad guys coming in, swooping into the wreckage. You know what would probably help take those guys out? An electrically magnetic pulse generator. You know?
No, that's
like,
a steam powered ship they got.
Oh, how stupid of me. It's like the EMP works on the golem, on the mythological creature, but do you expect it to work on like all this technology around us? Also, wouldn't our PDA be fried at this point? Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have just called it a VTOL or whatever I called it before. It's called by its technical name. The Bilberg Osterman Aerospace VTG-79 Vanquisher Powered Lift Gunship. Rolls right off the tongue. Luckily, the Black Order seems to be relying on ground troops to finish me off. These gunships tend to fly off after they've delivered some bad guys. Must be getting redeployed to deal with bigger threats than me. That's a strange assumption to make. That's a strange way to explain away why these things, we don't end up fighting them. Why we don't get into boss fights with those, like, machines. Also, what is the bigger threat than me? I am, like, the sole threat. I am the only one who has the power to interact with Pandora's box. I am public enemy number 1 to the Order, or whatever they're called.
There was a big golem.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything about it. They didn't seem particularly concerned about it. Down below we go.
So, sewer.
Yeah, I suppose
subway,
so, huh?
yeah.
You're right, it was going to be one of the two. They can't keep themselves. They can't help themselves, really. I always like this effect, by the way. Light bouncing off of water onto stuff. Love to see it. Just wish it wasn't filthy sewer water, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Alright, and the shotgun has no effective range. Duly noted. This is a video game after all. Huh?
What? Echidna.
Oh, that's right, I can't jump to get back on top of that, because you can't jump while you're in the water. This game has, like, 3 tricks up its sleeve, and it just keeps repeating them over and over again. It's walkway falls out underneath you, something grabs you and drags you into the water or wherever else, and locking you in place while you watch things happen around you. That's basically all this game has going for it in terms of design, in terms of ideas. I can't believe that jump actually worked, but...
Yeah, that was like a Half-Life sprint crouch jump thing there.
Little we know that this fist actually imbues us with all the powers of an HEV suits. I think there was a question like a while back where someone asked, what's more satisfying, fighting the monsters or fighting these dudes with the guns? Yeah. And the answer is obviously the monsters. These dudes don't have much in the way of tactics. They kind of just stand in place or awkwardly like go back and forth between like 2 spots while they indecisively like figure out where am I going to shoot them from. And you know, they all seem to be using the same gun against us. See, it became a subway. This game does, I promise, I swear to God, this game eventually leaves New York City for other places. It eventually changes.
Other various sewers and subways around the world.
Yeah, what does the subway system look like in London? What do their sewers look like? This game has the answers to those questions.
That was very anemic throw for that Molotov.
Well, our hand's still sore from that whole spike going through it thing, you know? It is our throwing hand, and it's a little bit injured at the moment. Not that those Molotov cocktails were particularly useful anyway. I think everyone just kind of ran away from them. Oh, when you're scoped, you only have burst fire on the assault rifle. In lieu of like a fire mode button that you can like toggle on or off. I wish I had some animus right about now. I wish I had some power I could use to heal myself, but
I wish humans contained even a hint of the divinity of God. But alas, that is only for wolf men and lion birds.
Nothing. Nothing in the environment. Oh, there it is. This car had it. This car had a soul. There ain't no one in the car, I can tell you that much, so...
Wolfman was driving it.
I gotta get back home before this full moon sets in, and oh no!
There you go. It took a while, but
circumnavigating the environment. Not always as easy as it seems. Stop trying to give us the pistol. We have an assault rifle and a shotgun. Like, I love pistols in games, but this pistol is pretty piffy, all things told. Not an old reliable. Another thing is that the all the mythological creatures explode real good. The imps, the werewolves getting decapitated, even the fire drakes turning into physics objects. What do the humans do? They just kind of ragdoll, not in like particularly spectacular or exaggerated fashion when you kill them. At least not the Order goons. So that takes away from how fun it is.
You're fighting a lot of humans for a game that sells itself on the whole fight mythological creatures thing.
Well, yeah, you know, in Half-Life, you fight a lot of soldiers for a game that's supposed to be about, like, weirdo creatures from another dimension. 2 games of equal, like, prestige, of equal quality in my mind. It's... I mean, that's always gonna be the problem. Like, what's that, that alien, Colonial Marines, right? What should the main enemy of that game be? How about the fucking aliens in the title? But, like, no, most of that game is spent shooting other dudes with guns. Even that Alien Isolation game, which is like the good one, like, yes, you spend most of your time running away from the alien, but like, do you spend equal amount of time like dealing with like robots that are coming after? And I think like other like malicious corporate goons. That guy, speaking of goons, okay, that one circumnavigated it. That's okay. Good. That one walked right into it.
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh, finally a way out.
I want to see if he. So he is set to follow me. There we go. Yep. I knew I could make it happen.
With this character's death, the thread of fate has been severed.
Oh yeah, he was essential.
You can continue to play in this doomed world or load a save.
I'll be honest, I think this world was doomed long before that guy died. This seems pretty dire. Alright, finally, some non-human enemies. We can get back to the gameplay loop that I prefer.
Deckard, we have an evac chopper en route to your position.
Be advised, infrared shows multiple bogies converging on Pandora's box. Moving fast.
Deckard, it looks like you're gonna have some company. Stay alert.
No more tubes, it was just that one. It was just that one tube full of fire. That one gas vein. This one ain't real. You can't just have one of those. You need to make it like a gauntlet of ones you have to go through. You do one to, like, basically introduce players to the stakes, to introduce them to the mechanic, and then you do, like, now here's, like, 2 or 3 of them that you have to weave between, you have to work on the timing for. But it's like, no, we put one there. That's good enough. That'll trip some players up, right?
Good job, Deckard. Now just pick it up and carry it over here. That was like spritzing it with a water bottle.
Well, that can't be good. And I correctly remembered that it just means that you have to use that that Animus double tap to make them corporeal again. That's really the one trick this game has up its sleeves in terms of the combat encounters. Like, that's the other thing about this game, is that the Animus should be, like, this all-encompassing mechanic. We should have, like, a range of abilities we can use with it, right? There should be like 20 different powers we unlock, a progression tree for all the skills you can potentially use it for. But we've already pretty much seen the full extent of it. We've seen the full range of it. It's healing, and it's this. It is pushing objects out of the way and/or making enemies corporeal so you can shoot them. And I don't know if that's a lack of creativity or just a lack of, like, time or budget to, like, fully flesh it out. Johnny Baghead is simply pointing out that GoldenEye rogue agents, Rogue Eye, like the Golden Eye in that game, had more powers than the hand in this game does.
This is Lexington. We have the artifact. Repeat, we have Pandora's box. All teams fall back to your LCs. Let's get this thing back to the clubhouse.
The clubhouse turned out to be farther away than I thought. Lexington ferried us.
Oh, look at this! Getting attacked while we're on the plane. This would have been a fun level.
Council of 98's headquarters, a hidden complex beneath the Houses of Parliament in London.
Oh, fuck off.
And immediately set about analyzing.
Oh my god, they're just flying through this shit!
Process that released the creatures.
Yada, 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 you know.
The council also subjected the signet on Deckard's arm to a multitude of scans. No one seemed to understand what the purpose of the brand was. In the meantime, I provided Lexington with the location of a hidden lab in the English countryside that LeFay had used for much of his research on Pandora's box. We decided to raid the facility and search for intelligence. Deckard insisted on joining us. After all, he was the one LeFay tricked into opening the box.
Look how off-model he is in this background shot. He's so stocky there. His hair is completely different. His face is completely different.
Insisting the signet on his arm was too valuable to risk losing, but Deckard was determined, finding his way to our aircraft at the last moment.
Completely different. Within the same slideshow, two completely different, like, interpretations of what Deckard looks like. That's what clues me in that some of this is concept art. Some of this is, like, sketches they had, or, like, you know, like, renders they had that are, like, inserted between stuff they did design specifically for these slideshows to stitch it all together.
Bad guys and critters, so watch your asses.
Not my ass I'm worried about, boss.
Incoming Griffins!
You know what I think would have been a cool way to do this?
Any other way than this?
Well, I'll go with my specific one. Is that if you're like globetrotting, right? That the creatures you fight are specific to that region's
should be localized to that
urban
region.
Legends. Yeah.
Yes.
Deckard, wake up!
Now, granted, it may be a little bit of a hard pull through New York, but I think you could probably manage something. Maybe instead of like a giant golem, it was Paul Bunyan.
The rest of the crew is dead.
Good thing the plot essential characters are all alive.
Council for help, but you must find LeFay's research. Every second counts. Head to the cathedral. The lab is hidden beneath the main hall.
I mean, if they were dead, they wouldn't be plot essential.
Yeah, I suppose not.
Try not to get yourself killed. I'm running low on friends these days.
Lady, I'm not ready to call you a friend. Kind of set me up bad on this one.
What I'm doing. Can you see?
All right. Oh, I see a drink up. First one of the night, believe it or not. It's been 2 hours, but. Now that I said that, we're gonna get a million of them. I'll pour in at once, but. Message from Vivian. Don't wait for us. Find LeFay's lab. I'll radio the council for reinforcements. You know, they only sent 2 choppers in the first place. I mean, I would assume, like, this is a pretty big operation. They would have sent, like, everyone they had initially, right? Where's the backup? Probably, we lost most of them in New York. And also, these guys are useless, but, I mean, they don't know that.
I mean, you think the Griffins all got them?
I would assume so. And again, like, I know I said it, like, during that cutscene where we saw, like, the Griffins attacking the plane as it was taking off. You could so have easily made a level around that. And I assume it had to have been a case where they wanted to, and then just couldn't. Budgetary, time crunch, whatever the situation may be.
Remember when we were playing Bullet Witch, and like there's that cutscene where like monsters were attacking like the plane you were in, and you were like, "Oh, we're gonna get a scene where we like shoot our gun out of the back of the plane." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're just gonna like start in a forest next to a crash helicopter, and that is exactly what happened.
Every Unity game on Steam, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a real one. That was a cutscene one. I couldn't tell at first, so I wasted some of my animus.
Yeah. Oh, that's creepy. I think it would have been creepier if you had to fight it like that.
Yeah,
but...
if you had to shoot a human, if you had to shoot like a zombie and be like, what if this person is still alive? You know, like, moral dilemma, huh? But it's just like, nah. That would have required programming some new behaviors for a new type of enemy to face. By the way...
They did the thing earlier where, like, you had to shoot a vending machine that was shooting soda at you.
Yeah, that was a novel one. That was a fun one. I think the game is through having fun, though. I think we've pretty much seen, like I said, the entirety of the bag of tricks. There may be, like, 1 or 2 new enemy types.
What the hell is this thing? Puke. Shouldn't be poking this thing.
Yeah, go for it. Good job.
That dude literally asked for it. I don't feel one bit of pity for that idiot.
Gailpon says, Legendary feels like a tie-in game to a 2000s action movie that doesn't exist. That or the lost sequel to Clive Barker's Jericho.
Clive Barker's Jericho like, deserved better than this, that's for damn sure.
That's what I was saying like, at the top of the thing, though, is I was getting, like, you know, Dark Universe vibes. Like, this could take place in the same world as Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
And that's the reason why we didn't get a plane scene. They had a cut of initially planned, but all the Foley, all the audio was missing. So it's just stock sound effects. Wah! 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 So it just had to get scrapped. It just had to get cut. If no one knows what the fuck we're talking about, please look up. That has to exist online somewhere.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
There's some kind of
it was that trailer that they released for The Mummy, but it had... like just placeholder sounds in it instead of the actual sounds of the trailer.
Traveling by yourself.
Oh, this way. Would you call this a sewer?
Yeah, I will link to it in the chat.
Thank you.
It has been preserved.
Thank God for that. We could go this way, or nope, nothing here. What did I take damage from? There's no enemies. Is like this jagged edge? Oh, that's a physics object that's clipping through stuff, maybe? No, I'm just baffled. Okay, whatever was doing damage, I guess it's gone, but... unclear, undetermined. And this is why, when a game... This is why I complain so fucking much about games that have, like, scripted animations for, like, enemies that you can't interrupt or damage them during. Because of low-rent shit like that, where you see someone that, like, oh, I can protect this team, and I can save this guy's life if I could only kill this werewolf. And it's just like, nope, you're just gonna dump a mag into this guy and nothing. Nada. Zip. Also, hello to folk rating. Thank you, Arbitrary Water.
Speaking of Arbitrary Water, we're back in the sewers.
Werewolf Scotty, that's true. That one's doing us a flavor. He took care of the other werewolf for us.
Yeah, you have a new ally. We've accidentally stumbled into a werewolf clan war.
This is the plot of the new Underworld movie. That's what it was originally meant to be, a tie into that universe. Well, that wasn't particularly tough. It just took a few more bullets. Seems to have the same behaviors as any other werewolf.
Does it have a new entry in the
Well, that's
Codex.
a good point. That's a good question. Alpha werewolf. There's also Tsukigumo's Gumo's children, the blood spiders. Ancient Japanese legend tells of. Okay, what are they doing in London then? What are they doing in London town? Your idea earlier was right, where they should be like mythological creatures relevant to the regions that you're in. Which, you know, you could have like American werewolves in London. They could focus on the werewolves here. I just don't know where those things factor in, or any other enemies that we'll inevitably end up facing during this sequence.
Buddy, let's go.
Don't rush me.
Now the wolves got everybody else. Looks like you and me are the lucky ones.
Dude, you're gonna die in 5 seconds. Don't even tease me with.
Yeah.
Alright, bye. You know what other game is lousy with this shit? You know what other developer is lousy with this shit? Rebellion Developments, my favorite developer. That is a team that steadfastly refuses to have, like, guys assisting you in anything that are capable of helping out with anything. Basically, they'll introduce characters just to kill them in front of you, as if you're supposed to care about any of them. But, you know, you don't. You ultimately don't, because you know that every person you meet is a red shirt that's going to die in, like, 2 seconds after meeting them. The worst game for that they did was their Aliens vs. Predator 2010, playing the Marine campaign, playing the human campaign in that, where, like, every character they introduce literally just dies within 2 seconds of meeting them. Scenes where you're meant to be, like, you know, making a last stand against the aliens, or the predators, as the case may be, is just basically just an excuse to watch everyone around you die so you can be the lone survivor every single time. Shell Shock 2, same thing. Rogue Warrior, same thing. What is the intro cutscene to that game if not just, yeah, we could have done partners, you could have had a squad that you go into Korea with, or we could just kill them instead. We could just make you watch them die, as if you're supposed to have some moment of, like, of pathos or feeling of vengeance around it.
Was Cell Shock 2 the zombie one?
Cell Shock 2 was the zombie one. That was Zombies in Nam. Which is funny because it was a sequel to a game they didn't make. It was a sequel to Shell Shock Nam 67. Almost said 97. And that was a game that actually had squad AI, that actually had, like, teammates who lived for a few minutes and had no zombies in it, mind you. That's one for the stream, by the way, obviously. I want to go through the entirety of the Rebellion developments, oeuvre, at a point. I might go through all of Spark Unlimited, too. Why not, right?
I couldn't remember if we had done Rogue Warrior on stream or not.
Not yet. Article on the site, badgamehalloffame.com/rogue-warrior. But, well. No, it's bound to happen eventually. A legitimate, genuine death. But as of yet, it has not been streamed. This isn't too far back. It's getting better about its checkpointing. It's wasting less of our time. Sorry, buddy. My philosophy is that if you're gonna put, like, hapless dudes with guns in your game that are just, like, there to be cannon fodder, that are there to die in your stead to establish how strong the enemies are around you, maybe just don't do that. Maybe just have them all dead by the time you arrive. Have your character show up late to the scene. Don't waste our time making us think, like, oh, these dudes might be able to lend a helping hand, when that's never your intention. It just comes across as really cheap. Yeah, I saw the hands phasing through the wall. I saw the ragdoll clipped inside, but it disappeared as quickly as we charged off of it. Gale Pond speculating or asking if the OG Shell Shock was from Guerrilla Games, if I remember correctly. Yes, you do remember correctly. That was a Guerrilla Games banger. I say banger, it's not really that great a game. It's not that bad a game. Shell Shock 2 is, like, should be considered a legendarily bad game. I have... not sure what was happening there, but I have tried to go to bat for the game. I have tried to get people interested in Shell Shock 2 as a bad game for years, and just no one cares besides me. So I guess we really do just need to stream it, ultimately. We just need to demonstrate it so that the world can understand my pain.
All over the place. Why would the Black Order want a live werewolf?
If you really want to get people to pay attention to it, then you need to make a YouTube video called "I Played Shell Shock 2," so you don't have to.
And the thumbnail can be its Metacritic score of what, like 30 or 27, or wherever the fuck it is. There was a period in time where it was the lowest Metacritic rated game on Steam. In an era before, like, Steam is what it is now, with like so many things on it. With too many games on it, back when they were like somewhat selective. I don't know what happened there. When they were still somewhat selective about what got onto the catalog, what made it onto the you know, the storefront. Where it was novel to have a game that was rated below a 30 on Metacritic, but
I remember when Sid the Dummy came out on Steam, and I was shocked that a game that bad came out on Steam.
Genie's out of that bottle by this point.
Yeah. I actually got Sid the Dummy on Steam because it was cheap, and I was like, oh, a platformer just came out on Steam. Interesting. Because there was a time where you could expect like a game coming out on Steam to be fine.
Have some measure of quality control or whatever.
Yeah.
I know people will point to Bad Rats as being the thing that sort of like dispelled that, being like the thing that really broke down the walls of that. And I guess it is a turning point in some capacity, historically. But I mean, they went through the vetting process same as anyone else. Steam signed off on that. They manually approved that game as they would have any other game. And I think, like, you know, the truth of the matter is that they would have approved anything. As long as they were paid to put it up, as long as, you know, they had a deal in place where they made the percentage, which is any game they put up on there. I mean, they didn't really care at a given point.
Right.
It's just more obvious they don't care now.
It feels weird to, like, remember a time, and I'm sure for some people, you know, the audience even, like, it'd be hard to, like, imagine a time that where, like, a game coming out on Steam was kind of a big deal to some degree.
The times have certainly changed.
Yeah.
Centralized at the cathedral. All teams
that, you know, it sounds like positively naive to say now, like, oh, I remember being disappointed that a bad game came out on Steam and being surprised at that.
At the same time, like, before anyone accuses us of, like, having rose-tinted glasses for the past, it is good that it is open to more people and more developers. Yes, you have to sort through a lot of chaff to get there, but I mean, the fact that it's an open platform now and that, you know, indies can put their games up on there, or that, you know, it's open to a wider variety of stuff, that it fronts more stuff to you. And granted, it's a messy algorithm that is just as likely to recommend Sex with Hitler 3 to you as it is, like, some game that, like, was a passion project by some dude out of some country that otherwise wouldn't have been able to get that game out in front of people, right?
I mean, these days it would be recommending a Hidden Cats game to you. That's, you go on the Steam.
That's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Finish and we're out of here. Put that cage power on.
Cage electricity on. We're well secure and ready for transport.
Good. Let's get these suckers back to the cathedral.
So, what's LeFay want with these things anyway?
Good thing this dude's not looking to his left.
It's just a big stupid dog. Who's in charge now, stupid?
Just curious. I mean, don't you want to know what he's got planned?
Look, I follow orders and don't ask questions. It's a lot easier that way. Trust me.
What, you'd rather sit out here
That's my philosophy.
torment a werewolf than be part of the big picture?
That is the little things that keep me happy. Isn't that right, stupid? Huh? The big stupid dog?
It's Deckard. Open!
I was wondering how it was going to end. I was hoping the werewolf was just going to instant karma them, you know, but
yeah,
I was expecting too much of them. Kent, I think you're making a terrible mistake. It's dangerous no matter where you go. Haven't you seen the news? Stop being such a bloody conspiracy theorist and get yourself to safety. I feel this would be like a conspiracy theorist's wet dream, all this shit happening. Just like confirmation that it's all true, it's all real! Mythological creatures, chaos in the city.
AI voiced Alex Jones was right.
What the hell? What got me there?
I meant to say Joe Rogan, but I get, you know, 6 one, half dozen the other.
Same difference. I feel like half our deaths... Okay, so half our deaths have been me fucking around and finding out. That's on me. The other half have been just weird physics mishaps. I think there was 2 legitimate deaths we had where I did not succeed in a combat encounter. That's been the spread. That's the ratio we're working with. That's the pie chart we're looking at. Yes, a concerning amount of just, like, weird, unexplainable physics phenomena.
Look at your panties. Open fire!
Why isn't this one dying? Oh, there we go.
Why aren't your bullets getting caught by the force field or what? No, no force field. Never mind.
Yeah, I killed them before they powered it on. Run free, werewolves.
Actually, I'm surprised that they considered that. You know, that they actually have to turn it on.
Yeah.
You could interrupt that action.
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess that is something of a touch.
Unusual for this game, perhaps.
Something exploded behind us. Can't quite parse what or from where or... Oh, you know what? I think that solves it. Oh, we can't toss grenades up there quite as high as they can toss them from up there. Okay, there we go. Oh, there are dismemberment physics on them. Okay. This wasn't apparent earlier. The shotgun doesn't do anything. But grenades will. That's good to know. Alright, now I just want to get out of this room. Or this room, this is where we died earlier. I think walking on one of those. Huh.
Look away for 1 second.
I think I was shot to death there, but it happened in the same spot. I think before it was physics, I think that one was me fucking around. So chalk one up on the ratio for that. On the spreadsheet for that, on the scoreboard.
Hurry, this thing's gonna wake up soon. I'm moving as fast as I can.
Yeah, this one is... whatever. What am I even doing? Why do I even care? I don't need to kill everything here.
Why are we even streaming?
No one else is going to play this goddamn game in the year of our Lord 2024. If not for us.
What do the Twitch metrics say on how many people are following
400
Legendary?
Something. There's like 434 maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Which is like, you know, nothing in the grand scheme of things, but more than you would think regardless.
Do not proceed until he joins you. Copy that, 6. We're holding position at a roundabout just below the cathedral. Wolf packs are all over the place.
Like, I would say, of this game so far, if I'm being, like, honest, like, am I having fun? No. Like, is it like, exciting? Not really. Is it like offensively bad at this point? Honestly, kind of not. I'm being very nitpicky in the way that I do. Because my thing is like, you know, all the little pieces add up to something big. You know, by pointing out all the little nitpicks along the way, I am making a sort of point about this, like, you know, where they cut corners, what's kind of lackluster about it, like little design foibles here and there. But I mean, it's a functional product for the most part. Physics deaths aside, and just broken physics in general, I suppose. But I mean, it's like the killer here is just like the lack of excitement. Really, like what kills at the end of the day is just like how not compelling all this is, how the premise is squandered. I think that's what's like really cementing for me right here. Oh, machine gun. Don't mind if I do.
Glad to see you. Wolf packs are all over the street. We'll need
NWO Wolfpack.
chopper arrives.
Cygnus retired yesterday.
148, we are inbound to your position. 25 clicks and closing.
What is that statue up? Right?
You know what'd be cool? This game had a flashlight that you can shine on
There's
things.
one. Yeah, just take that.
Oh, we gotta do the test. Thank God for that. Oh, come on. Don't just fade it out straight away. Alright, how about this?
What if that dropped Animus? Oh, come on, a watermelon but not a human? Jeez.
I don't know if I can decapitate him because his head is clearly like... Yeah, that's... Can't make heads or tails of that. Oh, there we go. See, it was literally impossible to kill him before. And now I can. If you're gonna make it mandatory to decapitate them, you can't have, like, ragdolls when they're in that state that can potentially get, like, lost out of bounds or inside of walls or scenery that can clip through things. And, you know, I will say, like, you know, all these things I'm pointing out, you know, far be it from me to pretend like I'm some, like, real expert on this. Because these are absolutely things that would have been detected, flagged during quality assurance, and would have just been flagged as known shippable. You know, these are things that developers would have, like, been aware of and just determined, like, we don't have the time or money to fix this. There are more pressing issues at hand. The game crashes when you make it to level 3. We'll fix that, then we'll worry about the werewolf's head clipping into this or that. We'll worry about these fringe cases that most players won't encounter, that don't completely ruin the game. That someone might notice and might, you know, like, get them killed on a given run, but... Propane tanks? Where are the propane tanks? I guess that was one of the propane tanks? Didn't really see it, I just kind of fired randomly and lucked into hitting it, but whatever gets us there.
I mean, you could generally get through about any FPS game doing that.
That's not true. Depending on the FPS.
What is an FPS game if not just shooting the gun until the game ends?
There's also movement involved. Sometimes you have to flip a switch, you know? It's...
Right.
Is there, like, an objective? Is there something we're working towards here? Oh, I guess they really want us to shoot this.
Bravo, this is Romeo 140.
Oh, no, maybe we are just holding out, maybe. It's hard to tell what they want you to do at a given time. What they should really have is... Hold on, let me read this first. Patrick, the deal is off. Once those wolves started tearing into my shop, the guns came out, you know? I used up any and everything I could lay my bloody hands on, and there's nothing left for you, so don't bother. You're on your own, O'Brien. Good to know. Objectives.
Likely excuse.
Hold out until the chopper arrives. So yes, we do have access to our objectives here in this objectives menu, but there should really just be a tooltip on screen. When I press this waypoint button that points to just this spot, there should also be a tooltip on the screen that says you are currently doing this, or you are currently holding out. There's plenty of screen real estate from it. This is a pretty minimal heads-up display, all things told. They could have afforded to have a line at the top. They're all exploding, and I can't tell why. There's not propane tanks lying around. Maybe they all drink kerosene before coming out here.
Yeah.
This is such a boring fucking holdout section, by the way. I don't know how much if I need to really stress that out, but we've been here for however many minutes. They're tossing like 2 enemies at a time at us. And granted, we are still doing all the work. All these guys are literally just for show. Every kill and every point of damage has been on us. But, like, do more. Raise the stakes. And it was all just for this. It was also the helicopter could arrive and then just get immediately taken out.
Like, you could have avoided this by not flying so close to the ground, probably.
Resistance is making forward progress impossible. All teams, seek shelter and dig in. Reinforcements are on the way. The assault resumes at dawn.
Boss doesn't have to tell me twice. Find a hoe, Deckard, and hide in it.
Deckard, wake up.
Wait.
Morning, sunshine. Sleep well?
When did you...
Huh?
Did I miss you?
They missed the slide there. Yeah.
Walk to the cathedral.
SMG, no thanks. I'll take literally any other gun. Oh, thank God. We just have our shotgun. Perfect. I'd like some ammo for this, though. Hackstralian. Asked in chat, when you say this game in the most literal sense legendary? I mean, yeah, technically that's the name of the game. So in that regard, it is legendary.
Echo team reports the enemy is cut off the street ahead of your position with a plasma gate. Clear the barrier and secure that street.
Gale Pond comparing this to Dark Watch, the vampire cowboy game.
That game is so much better. I understand that's, you know, obviously a comparison that paints this in the negative light compared to it, but still, don't sully Dark Watch's good name by comparing it in any capacity to this.
Decker, we gotta get this plasma gate open.
This plasma gate's a big threat. Can't phase through it. Certainly can't climb over this right here. There's no plasma gate right there. We can just probably like mount this wall pretty easily, but no, this is an insurmountable obstacle that we're gonna have to completely circumnavigate.
You know, for as good of a base idea as I think this game has, at a certain point, this does feel like video game.
Nope, we have a second pistol. We have a Desert Eagle. So that's nice.
Like, this kind of feels like the platonic default of a video game, to some degree.
Yeah. Nat, I don't think that secret stash of yours is going to help you much. I've seen some of the monstrosities tear people apart without even blinking. Stop being stubborn and get to the shelter. I'm headed there now. See you soon, right? I got some bad news for you, buddy. Also,
how much?
It's incredible how articulate people are with their emails and text messages, and that, like, no one using shorthand or abbreviations. Everyone's speaking in perfect grammar, perfect spelling. I just don't buy it.
How much time has passed since the New York level and now?
Better part of 2 hours. Or you mean like in-game time? Like days?
Yeah, in-game time.
They haven't given us any sort of frame of reference for that. Your guess is as good as mine. Alright, that's where we need to be, or need to get to. Okay, there we go.
Decker, the gate! Decker, we're reading no power in the plasma gate. Good work! Now secure the rest of the area.
Gale Pond pointing out this game is from the same developers as Turning Point Fall of Liberty. That's the one I forgot to mention earlier. I mentioned Lost Planet 3. Yes. I mentioned Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, but yeah, Turning Point Fall of Liberty. That's one we should play on stream at some point. That's an alternate history. What if the Nazis won World War II, or were in the process of winning World War II, invading the United States in the course of World War II, if memory serves, about the premise of that game.
Yes.
And it does similar things as far as, like, trying to be cinematic, but ultimately, like, dropping the ball on it. Not, like, finding a good balance between gameplay and that. Also, that's our teammate. I kind of just signed his death warrant by freeing that werewolf. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But let's really see, like, can they do any damage whatsoever? Let's test my...
You were talking earlier about, like, maybe we should do all of Spark's games. Not that many of them.
Yeah, no.
This
It'd be
one,
a short
Turning
series.
Point Fall of Liberty, Call of Duty Finest Hour, Lost Planet 3, and Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z.
I guess it just depends on how much time I can fucking drag out of these games, how much time I inadvertently end up dragging them out for. I guess I'll take the SMG because I don't think there's that much ammo for the Desert Eagle. It was fun while it lasted, but...
You do see that werewolf behind the barrier, right?
Which one was Finest Hour? There's a console game, I know.
Yeah.
But was it supposed to be like the first game brought to console?
Well, it was 2004, right? And the first Call of Duty was 2002 or 2003.
Don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I believe it was a scaled down version of that, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know which game it was, like, based on, if it was supposed to be its own thing.
Current team assignments for confirmed creatures: Limos Werewolf, Squad 1 capture, Werewolf, Squad 2, Squad 3 backup for capture, Minotaur, Squad 4 confirmed sighting, Tentacle, Squad 5 capture or kill. So there is Minotaurs left to find in this world.
Everyone is on board with calling them Limos.
Yeah, I guess so.
Werewolves, which I still don't know what that means.
Go to church.
Oh. Limos is a Greek deity and personification of starvation, hunger, and famine.
Oh, there we go. So that solves that problem.
Yes, we know what Limos is. That solves that problem.
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking more about what's happening in the game, but never mind. Oh. More Desert Eagle. Don't mind if I do. Give me a good pistol. Give me a half-decent pistol.
Sewer.
Yeah, nope, yep. London sewer system.
I'm worried we're never going to see a subway again.
Where's the London Underground? Iconic. Oh.
No? You need to shoot out the body? Yeah. Patrick Meow says the soundtracks for this game's been okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's all all these songs have sound like the same song, have sound like versions of the same song or continuation of the same song. It's all very samey, which definitely detracts from it. Very one note, much like the rest of the game. So I guess it fits in that sense.
Yep.
It's thematically appropriate.
Looking for again?
Minotaur.
Kind of the left looks like a Monarch henchman.
Minotaur! Minotaur!
Looks like a low-rent Judge Dredd cosplay. Halloween
I remember
costume.
this scene. I think they used this scene in like promotional stuff.
Yep.
Guy going, there it is, Minotaur, Minotaur.
Oh, we received a message. We should probably read this. In Greek mythology, the Minotaur was a creature that was part man and part bull. His hide appears thicker in the front, making him almost bulletproof. This relentless, angry bull will charge through walls to get to his prey. The only advantage I seem to have is my agility and fast. Wait, so Deckard's writing this?
Yeah,
Deckard is writing these notes?
Yeah.
I thought these were from
The only advantage I seem to have. The only advantage I seem to have is my agility and fast reflexes and good looks and grade A personality. So he's a tank. Did you shoot him from the back?
Yeah, I got that.
Good noises. I mean, stock noises, but they're good stock noises. I just like hearing cows and bulls.
Every time I try to get behind him, he seems to just, like, always be front-facing. I'm getting, like, SNES Doom flashbacks.
Oh no, my advantageous agility and fast movement failing me. I bet you have to do the video game thing of make him charge into a very solid wall, and he gets, like, stunned or something. No?
No, he's just always facing me at all times.
Oh, he read your PDA. Oh no, you read your PDA out loud.
Oh,
he was like, oh, I better
Deckard.
not let him.
You goofball. Like, even during his attack animations... Wait, you know what?
Oh.
But wait, now we don't have any more Animus powers stored up. That was a one and done, and now we can't heal.
Do you need Animus power to do your thing?
Yes.
Maybe if you shoot him from the front enough, he'll get hurt anyway.
Yeah. No, you hold right there. I gotta find another weapon.
What?
Not sure what happened there. Where's a full auto weapon? I'll take the SMG at this point. I mean, this guy's also not much of a threat. He does very little damage, all things told. Alright, here we go. Or I can just kill him by shooting him in the head.
Yeah.
You know, fuck whatever the note said. Who cares?
Maybe if you check the message received, it's an addendum that just says, oh, well, fuck it.
Called that one wrong. I think their backside is actually more vulnerable to attacks. Yeah, if I could successfully dodge a charge, that didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Again, inventing mechanics that don't actually exist.
We're approaching the western entrance. Roger, Waiter tells you to report in.
It's really cool how this game, how the AI is such that I can just walk up to enemies, basically, just point blank shoot them, and it gives them very little recourse. How any attempt at, like, you know, having different strategies for different types of monsters is clearly just, like, not real. It's not really there. Didn't materialize into anything, didn't coalesce into anything tangible. The most effective strategy is just get in their business, stun lock them with like a full auto weapon or whatever. Ma, why are you still in London? I told you 3 days ago to go to Aunt Gertrude's. It isn't safe in the city. Am I going to have to come drive you myself? Was there a body there? Was that just like... presumably that guy wrote the message before being intersected by a bench.
No bullet, Spongy.
That was cute how he hid behind the gravestone, but...
I mean, also, speaking of Spongy, that gravestone seemed to be made out of sponge.
Yeah!
It did not hurt you.
Isn't it incredible, like, how little this game is when all the spectacle is gone? Once we've moved past that New York area, and we're now just in, you know, generic urban environments after the crises. How this game has, like, nothing.
Why is Echidna here?
Because they only have so many enemies. I think they dragged me out of the map, and the game just is like, oh, they're out of the map, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Well, I mean, the idea of those Echidna enemies is they let you, if you let them drag you for too long, then you die, so...
Oh, all the way back here? Ay, ay, ay. I gotta ask.
Yes.
Please, audience, be truthful when I ask this. Are y'all falling asleep watching this like I am? I'm playing it and I'm like barely hanging in on this. And I'm not just saying that because we're nearing like the 3-hour mark. I'm just saying, like, from the beginning this has been dull. You know, I still think it's interesting in the sense that you can like see the game falling apart in real time. You can see the wasted potential. I think it's an important case study in that. But, you know, it's definitely not promising for the game itself. It's definitely a condemnation of the game.
Chat is saying that they have been somewhat falling asleep.
Understandable. We've come so far, though.
I will admit that I've been muting myself a lot to yawn, but I do have sleep apnea, so that's part of the reason I'm very tired right now.
Is this anything? Alright, bye!
Finally, away into the subway.
Let me think here, because I think we're reaching a point where...
Sewer.
Well, it's another sewer, yeah. But, like, you know, we're reaching the 3-hour mark. We're gonna, you know, wrap it up sooner than later. And I'm trying to think just, like, let me be somewhat constructive here. Like, what could they have done with the pieces they have here? This is the question I always like to ask, is what, like, the most minimum amount of tweaks they could have made to improve this product?
Okay, so we're not including my idea of different creatures for different...
That would take substantive work. That would take substantive effort.
Yes, right. What pieces they have, like...
So little. That's the problem.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, because you're at... the game's kind of like. No, this is okay. What I'm gonna say is incorrect and mean. This feels like minimum viable product, the video game, at a certain point, or at least feels like it.
Yeah. And again, I think I know. I do know a little bit of behind the scenes, very limited, and I could say that this was a case of like ambitions were there. There was more stuff planned, ultimately not executed on.
I will say, like, I think a gameplay improvement could have been if they let humans have animus. That would have made things less frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a valid critique. Oh, no. Okay, I assumed that if I was on that, or that, you know, it wouldn't just... I guess we're sending it back down now. I don't know, I guess the thing I'm thinking is, like, less padding. There's so many sequences in this game that just exist to pad out, that exist to make you wait in place. And this is absolutely a game that did not need that. When half the levels are fucking sewer levels, that's padding in and of itself. You don't need to also create, like, periods where you have to wait for an elevator to come up and down while you're in the middle of a sewer section. That's padding on top of padding.
What?
Also, I know I talk about this with rail shooters a lot, but kinetics and understanding where you are in the level and, like, why your character is going in certain directions, with the amount of tentacles grabbing us and floors falling out underneath us and
whatever that was,
not being able to walk in a straight line, with the amount of all that shit going on, you know, it does add up. It does, you know, add up to something where it feels like you don't have control over the character, where you feel like you don't have control over the game, where it feels like you're getting dragged along, taken for a ride, and that ride is liable to go off the rails at any moment and take you with it, you know? All the way back here. They could also tighten up some of these checkpoints. I mean, granted, like, this actually isn't that far off. It is that every moment, every minute in this game feels like an hour. So, like, any little bit you have to do between checkpoints feels like this mountain you're climbing, you know? Also, the amount of switches that you flip. We really don't need so much of that environmental, like, the bare minimum environmental puzzles. If you're gonna put, like, a bunch of puzzles in your game, put puzzles in your game. Don't just have, open this door to flip this switch. I mean, you might as well, like, be putting keys immediately next to the locked doors that they open at that point.
It feels also feels really, like, claustrophobic a lot of times.
Yeah, that's a combination of low FOV...
being a sewer.
Yeah, low FOV and a lot of sewers and subways, environments that are very cramped, which doesn't give you room to navigate or to dodge attacks or whatever, which is a problem with the combat flow. Well, it's fitting that the trash ends up in the sewer.
Rebels coming in from all directions. Copy. All other teams are currently engaged. Hold down until reinforcements are available.
Oh, there's some griffins coming in.
Have you actually fought a griffin yet in this game?
No, we have not. Aubrey, this is Gertrude. I heard the towns are all being attacked by horrible monsters. Are you alright? Get here as soon as you can. Okay. You know, I like reading these things because they're such, like, you know, they're a glimpse into the civilian life, but, like, how inconsequential are all these? You know, you typically, like, you'd use these notes to, like, do some world building, to like extrapolate on details or to hint at things that are maybe hidden in the environment. Like, you know, I had my pa's lucky shotgun with me. This is the shotgun he carried through the war, and I'm hoping it's going to help me defeat these monsters. And you find that shotgun later, right? To set up things or characters that you'll meet or something like that. These are here just for the flavor, but when they all effectively amount to just, here's someone who dies, here's someone who didn't make it. And, you know, whether you'll see their corpse or not remains to be seen. Who's to say that this is the person who sent the message? You know, ultimately inconsequential when it's the same character model with the same two characters recycled, the same two corpses.
It was from Audrey to Gertrude, or the other way around, so...
Yeah, so I guess
probably not that person.
Yeah.
I would imagine those are both two very old ladies.
With names like that, yes. There's no Gertrudes who are 20 years old. You come out the womb, if your parent names you Gertrude, you come out the womb, like, wrinkly and old. That's just the rule.
You are a Benjamin Button by default.
Yeah. This feels like this is where a fight should have taken place. Like, we should have, like, had to push up this hill here. As incline, they would have been, like, you know, maybe have a couple guys with guns shooting from here, behind this station here, slowing your advance. Maybe you go around this wall to flank them, or... But no. Hey, look, we're inside, and now we're opening the door.
Whoa. Dreaded.
Well, that's as good a point as any to stop for tonight, I think.
You hit a checkpoint.
Ay, ay, ay. Mamma mia. Well, that was episode 1 of a few of Legendary. I know there's a grand total of 8 levels in the game. I think that was level 4 we were in the middle of. Yes. I could probably afford to pick up the pace a little bit more in the second half and make sure we get this done in 2 streams, in 2 episodes. But, yeah, no, just, I know I started at the beginning saying, you know, we're going into this, that I was going to be, like, open-minded, that I was going to try to, you know... Every time I do these streams, I try to go in, I try to reset my expectations for it, but this game quickly reminded me of all the things I disliked about it, and why it's so boring. Yeah, no, it's incredible because, like, you run out of things to say by the end. I feel like we've already covered, like, we can just imagine what the last 4 levels would be like, and we'd probably be pretty close. But, well, we will commit to it regardless. We will finish her up in due time. Next Tuesday, even. Maybe we can come back to this and finish it up. This Thursday, 2 days from now, we will return the binary domain, which I'm not especially looking forward to, if we're being truthful. But it has to be done. We finish what we start here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. And then Saturday will be let's do like Euro Trip. For the first one of the month. We're wrapping up that series. We're nearing the end of our Simple 2000 Euro Trip. So I am looking forward to that. Those ones are always exciting. I hope this was exciting. I hope this was watchable. I hope this was entertaining in some capacity, that we carry it.
We had some people in chat still saying that, you know, they enjoyed watching.
That's always good. It's always reassuring. Consider subscribing here on Twitch, patronizing us on Patreon, boosting us on Discord, supporting the channel, helping us grow, and in the process, voting for what games we play on here. Vote for one better than Legendary, which I just picked out of a hat, basically. I just decided arbitrarily to stream, and boy howdy are we suffering for it. Clearly we need the input. Clearly we need someone to give us some sort of direction here. But Binary Domain is one that was voted for by patrons, so that's what the Thursday nights are. So I think Tuesdays will continue to be, you know, if we're being honest here, it's going to be games that I continue to pick for whatever reasons, whatever mood I'm in, or whatever mood Charkie is in, whatever games they decide to play, you know. But that's basically all I got. We'll continue. We'll finish talking about Legendary. We'll have more thoughts on Legendary when that second episode rolls around, as we stream it next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. But before we log off for the night, it would probably behoove us to raid someone. Shorps Away is playing Radiant Tale. Appears to be a visual novel, so that's the date night stream. So we will give them some views if you're so inclined to read along with some interesting visual novels. That is a show for you. But as far as Bad Game Hall of Fame is concerned, we are done for the night. Until we hang out in Discord, which we always do after the show anyhow. But I've been Cassidy.
I'm Charkie.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.